Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday night regular session of the American Region Mahjong League. This is Korak. I'm joined by Nathaniel. How you doing, Nathaniel?
Doing well. Looking forward to starting off with some C1 games tonight.
Well, there are a whole bunch of games tonight. I looked on the schedule, and there were 3 games, and then there were 5 games, and now we're up to 9 different tables going on over the course of the next few hours. I believe one table just finished their final set, and that was Irie's table, who did really well, and I believe is up into the promotion zone as a result of those games. So congratulations to Irie. I know they say games in just about every division. It's kind of nuts, honestly. But that's what happens. You get to that mid-season, and of course, doing it on the stream, people, of course, want to have that chance to get out there. So we probably won't spend too much long on any specific games. We want to hit as many as possible.
Absolutely. And of course, this first table featuring Eric, Madeline, Drew, and Danny should be an interesting one. I'm not that familiar with most of these players, but I'm excited to see what they have to offer.
I like the GGEZ. That shows definite confidence coming in here. Starts off with a great hand here. Possible 678 Sanshoku, possible 234 Sanshoku. Tanyao, door acceptance. I mean, that's an amazing starting hand there. On the right, we have a pay pair. It's just an Yaku high. I mean, the shapes are there. You have some extra honors to get rid of, but I'm not seeing any value. Across the way, pin fu type hand, not much there. Really need to 5 bond. Of course, 6/7 so makes it a little easier to maneuver around, but just with the 2, 3, 4, 5 so right now, probably just a pin fu, maybe even Richinomi. And on the left, I mean, do you just brute force Junchen? I might throw the 6 so right there and say, forget it. We just go.
In the meantime, Dealer has been advancing his hand, finds the pair, finds the chance at 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 4 Sanchoku, ends up having to get rid of the door acceptance, but still should be in a pretty good position here. Probably
Yeah,
the
and I'm looking at Madeline, and I'm just thinking this probably should have been Junchan.
yeah,
The more I
it's
look at it, the more I'm convinced.
if we had that 9 so back, definitely could have considered it. Still a chance you'd
Oh no! See, I was wrong. It wasn't Junchan. It was Sanchku Doko on ones.
pair of one
That
mon,
definitely it.
pair of one pin, then you draw into that one. So you're thinking, could it have been? Well, probably not, but it's fun to think about.
So the best hand at the table is definitely Eric here, looking for the possible 2, 3, 4 Sanjiku Tanya. Also, of course, the 1, 2, 3 wouldn't get you Tanya, but still Sanjiku if you can add it. Interesting, discarding the 6 so earlier, just trying to hedge as much as possible because you do have the Upeka if you draw that 6 pin. A very wide headless for Yanshan We're just looking for a pair anywhere, so certainly makes sense there.
And in the meantime, Drew on the right has drawn extremely well. Now into Ishanten for Richie Pingfu. Not much more than that, but could actually beat out the dealer in terms of speed here.
Well, dealers are running around Ishan 10, so possible but unlikely. Then again, we have 2 people in that situation, so I guess it's 50-50. But dealer, of course, gets first draw of the 2. And, ooh, 5's a very interesting draw. You can kind of hedge toward Itsu. I definitely like cutting the south here, saying, you know what, the defense not that important compared to Itsu. And there it goes. I love this play. That's how you greed for this. Is you're probably not adding much, but the chance that you do just always gives you a bunch of potential. Oh
Finally,
wow, dealer Tempai with the monster hand here. Potential Ricci Pinfu Tanya Sanjiku. The cheap end is Ricci Pinfu. There's only one so left though for that. On the expensive end, Forza Ricci Pinfu Tanya Sanjiku, and there is one of those as well. So not particularly a great weight though.
a daddy across the way opening up for Tanya only. Atosuke waiting for the 4 pin though. And that seems hard to come by.
Only one of those left.
So should be advantage dealer here.
Ooh, big draw there on that 3 pin. We may see a push now on the left. That's Ishant, unfortunately, it feels like that one so probably comes out then. Hilariously, probably actually wants to draw the 5 so and Ricci the Dora. Not really how you think of. Uh-oh, that chi is going to get you in trouble.
Dodged for the moment, but feels like any progress is going to involve dealing in. Of course, the 1 pin doesn't deal in because
1 pin didn't actually deal in because it's the Otozuki across the way with no value. Oh, and there's the 4. The problem is, what's the Yaku now? That's the problem, is probably looking to pawn 4-pin Waydora Tonki, but that's just so hard because there's only one left. We know it's in the dealer's hand. This is going to be Furiton Tempai if the one so is
相撲
thrown. What do you? Oh, there's the big
Oh,
hit. Ricci, Pinfu, Sanchiku, Tanyao. Dealer Hanemon, no, or it doesn't need it. GGEZ indeed.
well, we highlighted that hand as the most likely to win, and it certainly did with all the value as well.
And with that, Eric just jumps out to a monster lead at 48,000 just in one hand. Dealer Hanemon East 1 always makes the game a little easier and has a very mediocre hand now. 3 pairs, maybe some sort of upper Sanchuku, 678, 789. Could even be Chitoy. Not really liking anything in this hand, though. On the right, Pin Futai Pan, but the shapes aren't great. You have a 2, 3, 5, 5, 6 pin and a 5, 8 so, where 9 so's Dora. But when you're saying 5, 8 so are on the stronger end of your shapes, you're not happy with it. Across the way, 3 pairs, Hatsu pair. I think it should be call and go. Could even hedge towards Honitsu. And with that 9 so, might even be thinking that way. Because that is a Dora cut. Normally, you'd be cutting the 2 so and kind of hedging Chitoy on top of everything else, but throws the Dora right away.
Yeah, 2 players have dropped Dora. That's making this 8 so a little harder to be used on the right. Of course, for a dealer, could still hedge the Dora acceptance as well as the 6 so.
No, the thing about Dora is you just need one and it fixes so many hands.
Yeah, even just Richi Dora 1, Sumo you find an Ura, you've got a Mangan.
Ooh, very interesting hand there on the right. Possible Rishi Pinfu Ipeiko coming up.
Just need to draw.
I don't like the 5. I definitely like throwing the 9. You have the 6, 9 not looking particularly great. Of course, if you draw Dora, it looks amazing.
Ooh, there it
But
is.
doesn't
Yeet.
matter. That's an easy reach. I believe this is a 1-4-7 where the 7 is not Ipeiko, but the others are.
Yeah, you don't even mind getting the 1 pin because you don't have Tanyao anyway, so we're really looking for 1 pin or 4 pin. And there are 3 1 pins in the wall as well as 1 4 pin. 2 7 pin as
Richi
well.
Pinfu, possibly Ipeiko.
Oh, there's one of
Uh-oh,
them.
that 1 pin's bad. And it
Boom.
comes right out. Richi Pinfu Ipeiko. Or a 2.
Ooh.
Okay, well, turns out it didn't matter because that's going to get Drew back over 30k. The Aura pushing that to a Mongon. You kind of wish you'd sumo to that Bihanemon, but you don't look Mongon in the mouth and complain about it, especially when you get the Aura Bomb like that.
Yeah, Eric getting there by building Yaku, Drew getting there with the Ura too. Both of them find Mangan Plus.
Drew dealer here with a few pairs, 4 of them actually. Chito Yanshan. And honestly, Chito isn't necessarily a bad option in this hand because unless you draw Dora, the 5-mon, 9-mon is just awful. Oh, okay. Now you can definitely think regular hand. I definitely got chewed now.
Ooh, 4 so.
That seems to be more a hedge for the Chitoy. The problem is there is actually a 4-5-6 Sanchiku. It's hard to see, but it's definitely out there.
Especially because if you're aiming for Tanyao, you want to cut this 9 so anyway. And if you draw a
Yeah,
5
you can
pin,
always cut
6
the
pin,
9-mon, 9-mon, not worry about it. Pulling the
exactly.
8 pin. You have Dora. There are ways to maneuver this around. I think it's a little inefficient, maybe greeting for it a bit too much here. On the right, Pin Futai Pan, you have 2 Dora, so you're looking for an excuse to call, but it's just not really there. 1, 2, 6, 6, 7 Mon, and 2, 4, 6, 6, 8 Pin. Anytime you have one of those where everything's even or everything's odd in a suit, you just look at it and go, ugh. Across the way, Pin Futai Pan there as well. Similarly, kind of hard to use shapes. You have the 1, 3, 3, 4, 7, 9 pin. So you have an overlap and then a random Kanchan at the 8. So not really very good there either. And on the left, that is technically Ishanten. It'd be Richidora 1, so I guess that's good enough if you can get it. But needs the 6 pin and the 8 so.
We did see the dealer end up drawing the 5 pin. So it was one of those situations where could end up on a Shabo here. Ideal draw a 7 pin to fix the Penchon issue. But I'd almost rather just have the 4 and the 6 so back here.
Yeah, I think I would too, because you're looking at Shampoo. A 9 is normally a good Shampoo, but not when it's Doratsuji.
Yeah, good point. And Toyman
But
really
you
wants
definitely
to
don't
use
want to be
those.
waiting on pin with that pond anyway, so I don't think you can take the 7 pin Sean.
Yeah, 7 pin just dead
Ooh,
anyway.
interesting discard there on the left. That's a very inefficient discard. Cutting the Shaw from that. Actually had a fairly wide Ishanten. could accept any of Shaw, 7-pin, 6-pin, or 8-so, and just throws it away, moving back a Sean 10. And I don't know, is this just a flat bail?
I wonder if it's some concern about dropping the pin tiles and saying, I'm not going to take Arichi Nomi most likely, or Arichi Dora 1 rather, with a possible bad weight. I want to draw around this 5 pin and just never have to drop that. This is
Well,
not a
now
good
you
weight
get to
either,
see
though.
whether that's what's going to actually happen, because this is Tempai.
Yeah.
Doesn't want it. Wants a much better shape given the rest of this hand.
Could have chosen the bad Shabo 7-pin 4-so, or the Kanchan 5-7 waiting on the 6.
Yeah, I think I just waited. Oh, well, okay. Very likely rewarded here with that 6-mon draw. Do you cut 5-pin or 4-so here? I kind of like cutting the 4-so because the 6s are close to dead anyway.
Yeah, it seems like Eric really doesn't want to drop this 5-pin at all.
That is not Tempai across the way. That is a very awkward shape to deal with. Really needs to draw the 6-9 twice.
And we can see where all the Dora are. Those are not going to come into hand.
2 on one side, which kind of bulges, and 2 on the other. That's the hand you're looking for. Dama's here. Pinfu, Dora 2, putting on 4-7. And there's our Ricci for the dealer. Ricci Nomi. I imagine there's going to be just an immediate Sumiguri Ricci when we get back to Eric.
Yeah, if you're willing to fight. If you think it's a Chinitsu you're fighting against, maybe...
Each.
Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
Yeah, okay, it's just a Sumiguri Ricci.
2-pin.
Figured if someone's actually going to throw the 4-7, we'll take it, but we're not going to aim for it, get ourselves into trouble. And the concern here is that Ricci, Sumiguri Ricci, oh, never mind, there's the Sumo. I was saying the Sumiguri Ricci may set suspicions about a Suji trap, but I think this is just chasing the dealer down most of the time. But there's the Ricci Sumo, no Aura, and that will get Drew back up to 36,000. So getting closer still, but 10,000 to go.
That's really hard to make
We'll
up
have another dealer.
A dealer Hanemon.
Yeah, it's hard to catch up to that. Dealer here with a Pinfu hand, maybe a Chanta, also a Dora 3-so. Doesn't seem to be hedging the Chanta. Wants the Yaku Hide to just try and be able to call some of these shapes like the 1-3-5 or the 6-8 later. On the right, definitely a Tanya type hand. Could even be Tanya Chitoy with how it looks, but 2-2-5-8-8, never ideal shapes there when you see that. Across the way, it's a Pinfu type hand there as well. Nothing fancy. You do have that Penchon you want to get rid of, but the rest of the shapes are okay. And on the left, Chun pair, Shaw pair. Of course, Shaw for the North player doesn't help much, but it is callable. And the problem is I don't really see any value in that hand, so it may just be calling almost anything.
And this is where Eric is in the lead, so he can play however he wants. Some incentive to just call for 1,000 points and end this dealership, because Drew is your closest competition.
Yeah, and East 2, it's not your primary concern, though. Well, there's anything open on the right. Calls the 2-pin, says, this hand is not finishing close, so we might as well open it. The problem is this does set you up for double Otozuke. Probably needing the 4-mon and the 4-so.
Definitely awkward. Well, this helps.
Ooh, I definitely cut... Oh, I don't like that 8-pin cut at all. I think you just cut the 2-3-mon, get rid of one of your Otozuke. You can still pawn the 8-so or 8-pin there.
Yeah, for a closed hand, if you're aiming for Pinfu, this makes a lot of sense, but we're open. We need Tanyao. I feel like the 8-so or the 8-pin could come out fairly easily here. Can call opponent to
And then you'd potentially just be Tanya Dora 1 if either of those came out, you pawned it, just waiting on 4-7. Of course, the 4-7 is not great. We see 2 of them discarded, and a few of them being held across the way. But
oh, well, just drop 4-so and 4-mon.
Easy game.
And now we are Tempai on that aforementioned
4-7, 3 of them left.
Dealer making ground here, and doesn't have to discard the 4-7.
No, I was looking for it. Ooh, possibly Peiko now across the way. Oh! Ooh, I don't like that.
I'm a big fan of 9-mon, 8-mon there.
I completely agree. 8-mon, 9-mon, get the Ricci, Tanya, Ipeiko. And something you may already pick up is you have 2 commentators who both really like Tanya when the hand gives it to you.
And let's not forget 5-6-7 Sanchoku as well.
And if you can maneuver to it, great. Not always the easiest. But we're in East 3 now. Dealer here is Denny. Has 4 pairs, a completed run, though. I hate these hands because you know it wants to go Chitoy, but you don't want it to go Chitoy.
How eager are you to cut south here? Or, I guess you have the
I'm
Haku pairs,
not.
so you don't need to.
See, here's the. Oh no, I was gonna say I kind of want to cut the 5-so
And think about Honitsu.
and just hedge Honitsu on
Yeah.
top of everything, and then the 9 pairs up. Like, oh no.
Yeah, with 5 pairs.
Instead, just calling for Tempai though.
Yeah, makes sense here. 6-0 live. They're all in the wall.
We ain't even got to the other hands because the hand on the right's actually Ishan 10 as well. Definitely worth challenging if you get there. Across the way, that's just Junshan. It isn't near. That's easy cheat. I should definitely be cheat. Ishan 10 for Sanshoku, Junshan, Dora, Mongon.
Yeah.
And on the left, I mean, it's a Pinfu, but it's so far back, we really don't have to worry that much about it with the rest of these hands.
Yeah, when you see all these terminals, you're not really thinking it's a value hand, but there it is, 10x4 Mongon.
Oh, uh-oh. This could be a huge problem now for Drew. May want to slim down this 7-so at some point.
You're right.
That'd be an absolute disaster.
Still has the Hatsu to cut.
You're just praying you don't draw 6-so if you look at this situation.
Yeah, even... Yeah, it's got to come out, too, if you draw 6.
Yeah, I don't see either way. We have Atsuzuke Tempai on the right. Furi 10, no less. Waiting just on the 6-pin. Furi 10.
So, we'll see... Danny here trying
I definitely
to
cut 8-pin
maneuver.
here. Yeah, I like that.
This is very wide to get back into a Tempai that is not Hudi 10.
They have to figure the 6s are very likely being used. It's actually quite surprising. Oh no! No,
Yeah, it's gotta
there
go.
it goes. Junkan, Sanchikudora 1, Mongon.
Yeah, that's a real surprise moment.
We're like, that didn't look that expensive. What?
Yeah, you might be expecting, you know, Chanta Dora 1.
Chanta, Taipan, maybe Dora 1, 2000. You deal into Mongon like that. And now you're back under 30K, and Eric is just rolling.
Yeah, first game
The other
of
here, though, is Madeline, and she calls the 9-so. Probably looking to go
Shinitsu.
Chinitsu. Like, it almost has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately it's not in the door suit, but definitely could put some pressure on the rest of the table.
Well, that's one of the big advantages. Oh, well, there's a Dora Yeet, so we'll see if that alerts the table. And on the left, Denny says, you know what? You're going to go for it. I'll go for it. It's too. And mine is scarier than yours is.
Khan, let's go.
We ain't got to the other hands on the right. Possibly Peiko, Yakuhai South pair. Plenty of options across the way. Chun. Paul now has been Kakan, so is Ryan Shun 10. You have that floating east, so probably looking to go to Ortanki eventually. Ooh, 6 is an amazing tile. What do you do with it? Do you opponent? Do you Chi 5-7? I think that feels right. Yeah, whereas you look at these, it's, you're probably going to need another 7-so with this shape.
I think you want to have the 8-so to Pon, not Chi. Because it's harder to
Right.
pull 5-so or 6-so.
And plus, you definitely want to be getting rid of these Mon tiles, like now.
Right. You might not be 100% certain, but it does starting to feel like a...
It has to be either a Yakuhai or a Honitsu at this point. And you don't buy Chanta with the early 9-so cut.
Your big concern is that they have the East.
Ooh, 4-so should have been called as well. If you're going this aggressively, you just need to call everything.
Yeah,
I think with that other shape, if you'd called the 4-so, you'd be in great position now.
Oh no.
Oh no, no Yaku. That's just a mistake. You should always be cutting the form on there. This Tempai is worthless. Your only possible Yaku is Rinshan.
Will it be recognized? Here's a good opportunity to switch. Yeah, good.
Okay, it's gonna take it, but this should be the very awkward 3-6-6-8 instead of this a 3-6-6 and then a dangerous 4-mom floating around.
Oh, East draw. Everyone's got one now.
Well, now you have a door. You may not have to think too hard.
Yeah, I think what happened...
I don't like the 3-so. It's just kind of half committal here. I think you just have to go.
I think what happened with the earlier play is after the 4-mon got paired up, the 9-so Pon was forgotten. I do that all the time. You forget what your first call is. You think, oh, I've got Tanyao Tempai. And then you realize, hang on a second. There's a 9-so in my calls. I can't do this. Switch back.
Yeah, it doesn't tend to work that way. Ooh, this shot could get called.
Holds it though. Shaw, kind of bad against two Honitsu-looking hands.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you don't know where the Easts are. You have one of them, but it's Dora, and you know someone has it paired up. The only way it's not paired up is if everyone literally has one, or it's just super deep in the wall.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about Eric's hand on the right, but I think it's just dead.
Eric just out. Eric says, "Forget this. I'm out."
We're seeing
Oh,
moves.
oh, we have Dora Tonki versus Dora Tonki.
And 2 mon
So, like, you don't
overflows.
want to be throwing the East now.
Yeah, this 5 mon not looking good in dealer's hand, but you'll push it.
5,200 and 5,200, I believe. And we know it's never going to fit. Oh. I mean, this is one where I may just, even if I still had that other 8 so I think should have, I don't think you're necessarily throwing the East here now.
No, and the way it was played with the early, 3-so cut sort of indicated that the plan was always door Tonki from here.
New door is Hatsu, not an issue for anyone on the table.
Well, we have 6,400 now on the left.
Doesn't matter. I can't imagine this getting pushed. 2 players tempai. Dealer never made it back. I mean, the East kind of shut everything down. You had 2 players who could maneuver it to a Tonki and one who couldn't. And we're going to have a dealer switch and move to South round. Eric with a nice callable hand here. Not too much value, but great shapes. Callable hand. Speaking of great shapes, callable hand, what's that Honitsu on the right?
Yeah, very much looks like it's going to be a Sohonitsu. Unfortunate that we're in the South round now and the East is not a Yakuhai pair.
East isn't particularly useful. Speaking of Honitsu, we have another one across the way with 2 Dora even. You're looking for an excuse to call that. I don't even like cutting the West there. In fact, I really don't like cutting the West there.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to hedge the 789 Sanjuku a bit, but I think you just go for a Honitsu type hand. On the left, Pinfu, possibly Peiko, but he's just going to be way slower than some of the rest of the things we're seeing here.
Yeah, we see Drew committing pretty hard with the East call. I don't necessarily mind not trying to force the Honitsu across the way in Danny's hand, but you're not losing that much from dropping the 9-so before the West, or even the 9-8 pin before the West.
And speaking of not keeping necessarily the Honitsu, on the right, discarding that 2-so really locks you into not going Honitsu with this. Because I'd probably just drop the 8-mon. Sure you lose, or 4-mon. Sure you lose the door acceptance on the 8-mon, but you're probably not going to use it. And the 4-mon is just a generally good floating tile.
Well, the 8-9 does come out. We are Ishanten across the way for Pinfu
They may be able to make it for, Ricci, Pinfu, or 2. That should definitely be. If you've done this, you should probably be making that Chi. And yeah, that's going to be the play.
Still really needs the hot switches in the wall somewhere.
Ooh, interesting draw here for dealer. Do you cut the door on, just take the better shape?
Might go 1-so,
Do you kind of hedge everything with 1-so, 1-so, or north-north? I feel a pair's the way to go there. Yeah, okay. Ooh, similarly, interesting decision on the right.
It's just not Tempai.
Yeah, not Tempa. I don't mind the 4-5 either. Yeah, and that's perfectly fine to me.
Sorry, I should have said no Yaku. So yeah, this makes
I might have actually gone 5-so first, because if I draw the 2-so again, I could always decide to go Sanjuku with it.
Ooh, that's clever. Maybe too clever. Ooh.
I don't think that's Tempai.
Yeah, do you want the 4-7 shape or the 3-6? Looks like the 3-6 is the choice.
Both?
Because...
I'd cut the 5-mon.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is an excellent Ishanten shape.
But we do have Tempai. There is the third Hatsu drawn, waiting on 2-5-mon. And there's the Sumo.
All right.
Does get 400, 700, so back over 30K, but had that surprise Junchan Mongon deal in, so doing quite well to be at 31,000 right now.
Ooh, nice. High buy.
Yeah, well, that's a starting hand, all right.
Confident enough to drop that Dora first go?
I don't know about that. I'd probably cut the 9-so first, but because you could have ended up just being Cheetoy waiting on that 1 pin.
That's a good point.
On the right, I don't know. What do we do with a hand like that? It's just ugly.
Ricci no Mi.
It feels like a Ricci Son Anko attempt is basically what I'd try to brute force out of that. I know that's not your favorite Yaku at all,
Nope.
but it's definitely one that I think about a lot. On the left, though, that has two Dora. You just play efficiently. You don't have to think too much about a hand like that.
We do see the Huts call across the way. We'll just be 1,000 points most likely.
Interesting. 9 so not called across the way. Could have taken the headless Ishan 10. Doesn't want to, though.
Looking to just maximize the number of draws into a pair first.
Yeah, I definitely call that. The thing about a Tonki, even if you do end up headless, is Tonki can be switched to whatever you want it to.
I
You
think
don't want the runs necessarily fixed until that pair is in there.
right. I think if another 9 so comes out, you have to take it because those are going to start to run out.
Well, there's our possible
Two
Ipeco or confirmed Ipeco for dealer. I say confirmed, but it might not be. It could also be Rion
Oh
Peiko. Oh,
no,
this
not
is
like
Tempai.
this. We wanted the 4
Oh, this is kind of
pin. We
tragic.
wanted the 5 pin.
I mean, you obviously take it. It's Ricci
Yeah.
Pin, Fui Peiko, possible Tanyao, but it's a little sad.
Dion Pico fans crying right now, but as dealer, this is an excellent hand. Oh, there it was. Turn too
Oh,
late.
instant punish.
You
I'm
always
surprised that Eric is just folding this, but I guess it is a dealer Ricci from second place. Doesn't want anything to do with it.
Eric might have to end up folding into Tempai here.
Well, just draw the 7, so.
It's eShot 10. Actually, was Tempai there on the 8 pin, but that was terrible weight, so didn't take it. Could call here for
You
Tempai.
definitely, I'd call this. I'd 100% call this.
7 pin can't be that bad. Now, if the 5
Well,
pin
7
was...
isn't great, but it's like, what's your other option? When you have a Tanyo hand like that, you're just kind of screwed and you know it. So 3-6 versus 1-4. We're starting to see a lot of orange tiles pile up in
I
hands.
see 3 of the 1s, 3 of the 4s, so only 2 left for that way. Ah,
Oh
there's
no!
the 1.
Ricci, Pinfu, Ipeco.
Udai's huge here. Misses.
Nope. So still going to be in the lead there, but Drew will definitely take that to close the gap. Has a south pair, can call this down. Ooh, interesting choice. What do you go? Okay, not even going to consider the Chanta routes.
Yeah, just playing efficiently here. That's fine. The extra Han might not even be worth it.
Yeah, it's hard to get, but I do like considering it. Although here, just kind of floating the east, not worrying about it. On the right, Pinfu, Tanya. Tumon would make this a possible Sanshoku, or even better, a 5-so would make this likely Sanshoku. So very nice hand there on the right for Danny. Across the way, I don't know, it's just a Pinfu hand. There's not much to say here. You have a Dora, your shapes are fine. It's a significantly better than average hand, but feels like it plays itself. And on the left, Pinfu, Adora, maybe a 3-4-5 Sanchoku there as well. You have the 2-5 in Pin and then the 2-4-5 in So. You're basically trying to connect either of those because there is no pair yet in the hand either.
Yeah, dealer looks to be the farthest behind, but at least if the south comes out, you can start to make your moves. Would you Autozuke call anything here as dealer? Say,
I mean,
6 bond, 7 pin.
I'd call 6-mon just because I hate that shape.
Mm.
2-pin, probably not, but I'd consider it.
It is interesting.
7-pin, I'd probably take.
You could see 3 of the Dora
I'd
indicators.
jam the 6. Say, we die with Dora.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost forming a wall with your own 6 mon, so it's very hard for other people to use Dora without having 7, 8, 9. The more 9 mon that come out, the less likely is that anyone can use the 7 mon.
And you need to drop a pair here. The one that makes the most sense is the 6-mon. Instead, cuts the 8 because there is a 7 out, but now you're going to have 3 pairs. The actual speed of this hand is pretty trash.
Yeah, even if you pull in something relatively easy like the 2 pin, you're still on a Concha.
Either a 6 Shampon with a Dora indicator or the Dora.
And in that case, you'd always choose the Dora, right?
Yeah,
So
I would.
So there's very little
And even
incentive
here,
to
I
hold the
hate
6-1.
this 3-pin cut. This is just such bad efficiency. I mean, sure, the 1-4 isn't great, but like, what else are you gonna do with this hand? Just figures the door is probably dead at this point. That's the only way I can be reading this.
Yeah, and I think this is a moment where you could think ahead in your hand and look at what your possible final weight's going to be. If you get this tile, what weight will you choose? If you get this tile, what weight will you choose? So on and so forth. And you could see that the 6-mon has very little feature in this hand. Now that you've drawn the 5, it's even more clear.
Well, yeah, but if you cut the 6-mon earlier, this doesn't matter. You just throw the 8. You don't worry about it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
As it is, by holding the 6 as long as you have, you're getting a little scared of it.
Uh-oh. Might have held it too late now.
Yes, that is Richidor too. I am very surprised this is taking Dama. Especially in 4th place here. You have 2 Dora, you just hit button.
Yeah, it's a very bad weight, but that you can't afford
It's also
to
hard to improve. The only real improvement's 8-mon.
Okay, wait 1 turn.
Oh, there's your 6. This could be a chase if you want to Suji trap the 2-pin, but in 1st place, this may just end up being a fold. We'll see how it gets played.
Really rough decision here. It is just a fold.
Yeah, just folding. I'm not surprised by this. And this is kind of the problem, is Drew has put himself in a really awkward position here, because you have to jam the 1, which is awful against their AG. And now you're going to do this, you're going to have to push Tempai and deal in, again, because that 6 was held for so long. Definitely comes back and bites, and that's going to be 5,500. At the meantime, Maddle says, well, I'll take it, thanks, though.
Yeah, will be a good moment to review for sure.
Well, we are in South 3 now. This is Danny with a Hatsu pair, decent shapes everywhere, but no real value. On the right, Pin Fu Taipan, floating Dora acceptance with the 2578 pin, where 4-pin is Dora, but not much else. Across the way, I think there's brute force on it unless you draw Dora. Might even be able to sneak in. Well, I think you just have to cut the 1-2. So
yeah.
that draw just immediately shuts down all my dreams.
Yeah, you see Contra Contra's like, okay, I can afford to throw these away, forcing Honitsu, and then you feel one
and you
like,
feel your worst
okay.
block. The only block, the one you were definitely going to drop, or at least I was definitely going to drop there. The hand says no. And sometimes that's what happens, is the hand says, you know what, your plan was wrong, you just lose.
It's okay.
So draw it up and move on. You see the Haku's been called on the right, and on the left, a very nice hand. Possible, I don't know. There has to be a Sanchiku in there somewhere, but it's hard to get to. Maybe 4, 5, 6 if you pair up like 7-pin and Bon Chun.
Yeah, exactly.
And on the right, Ishan 10 for just the Haku. Oh, just pair up Dora. I mean, now the hands. Oh! No!
Dora fans.
As you may guess, I am not happy about that one.
Dora fans in complete shambles right now.
The thing is, you're going to need a pair when you pull and Chun, which is obviously the plan in this hand anyway. And if you really, really want to hedge the acceptance, you can just cut the 8-mon. It's useless here.
Ooh, there's the Tsumo. Wow. Shaba wins.
Yeah, Dealer is working towards Toy, but Madeline says, nah, let's just move to South 4 now.
Yeah, chipping away bit by bit, and now has a chance to get out of 4th place here.
Is Dealer, but does not have a great hand to chase us down with. Just kind of ugly.
Yeah. Not much going on here.
Yeah, on the right, Pinfu, possibly Peiko hand. You do have the awkward 2-4, 6-8 Mon, where 2 Mon is Dora, though. So we'll see how that ends up. May end up later turning into a Cheetoy, just based on the way the shapes are kind of disconnected here. But again, we'll see. Across the way, 2 completed runs and a whole bunch of garbage floaters. Ugh! Cuts north, cuts east, cuts north that was just drawn. Still has, what, 6 floaters to get rid of?
Yes.
Ugh. You even dream Kokushi with that, and it's not even there. It's not even bad enough.
At least it's a pair. That's a pair of dragons.
You just call. This is a call and go. Get over 30,000. Say, I can't believe I have a chance to win this garbage hand, and you just go with it. The problem is those 2 Hatsu are on the left, and they aren't coming out.
It's going to be hard for Danny to also put something together here. Unless you use that as the pair. I guess this is just Yan Shantan.
I'd probably cut the 4-so there.
Oh, as dealer.
Yeah, like I'm not convinced this still isn't going to just turn into Honitsu.
Even with all these
There's
honor
Dora, but
cuts.
so what?
Well, there's a 5. Now the 4-so probably comes out.
Yeah. Like I'd genuinely be thinking out Honitsu. I'd probably cut the 4 Mon if I still had the 2 pin in this hand.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
kind of how I see
it's
this.
difficult to throw away the Dora shape when you're looking for value, but Onitsu is a different route. It gives you 2 Han.
Okay, you just decided this is the final waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Beach.
And there's our Ricci across the way. Doesn't have to
How?
worry about that Hatsu pair, just Ricci's waiting on 4-pin. Surprisingly, all 4 are in the wall.
How did you find Tempai with that starting hand?
Also dealing out potentially Furi-ten, having cut the 4-so.
4-pin unlikely to
This
come
is
out
the
so
other East
easily.
first. Yeah, and you'd have to assume the 7's going to be the one that comes out first.
Oh,
9-so,
9-so.
9-so, for sure, yeah.
Unless you're very concerned about the 50-10, but you still have decent number of tiles in the wall.
I mean, your dealer, I honestly wouldn't even care. I'd just smash it.
Do you see a chase from the left?
Possible Sanshogu here. Ricci, possible Sanshogu with the 5-6-7.
7-pin all held though, only 4-pin in the wall, and there are only 3 of those. Oh, this
Well,
Tempai.
here's your Furi-ten Ricci. You just have to do it. I do not like the Dama here. Like, you're never changing this shape. At least I don't think. No! Oh, that was your ticket to 30K in second place. No!
Ricci Patsumo Dora, 12,000 minimum.
Possible Ura. Oh, no.
Do not fear the 50-10.
And that's something, you're in this situation, you're in 4th, you have a good weight. Sure, it's Furi-ten, but Sumo is like a deal for you anyway. And that's something I see a lot of people do is they will not reach, even in A1 sometimes, they will not reach anything that's Furi-ten. The problem is that if you're in this situation, you just have to be willing to fight. So here, still, even after hitting the best tile you could have, hitting the Sumo, you're still in 4th.
But at least you've made some progress. You still retain the dealership. There's a home ball. Keep trying. Drew has
yeah, you
other
did
ideas.
pick up the sticks, but this hand, again, is just not it. Somehow managed to make the last hand work with a whole bunch of good draws, but in the very end, just couldn't close the deal particularly well, and still in 4th place. Now I see across the way. This is likely just going to be pulling the South, get the 1,000, get back to 30K, and be done with it.
I would have thought we'd see the 3-so and hedge Honitsu as well, but
Nah, I don't think you need to here. Again, it's very important the score is 29-6, so you just want the win.
sure. You could have discarded the other order and still gotten to the same spot, and we'll see if the South comes out.
The problem is it looks like a Kokoshi attempt on the right.
Yeah, with a 2-so, otherwise you'd think it.
Yeah, but the one pin's a really weird cut. Maybe trying to brute force this into Junshan? I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Maybe just holding safe tiles and.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying I'm not playing this. Have fun.
Yeah, even
okay,
here.
yeah, it's just a fold.
Okay. The player on the left, putting together Tanya potential Dora, is Ishanten.
This is the other part of calling that East is everyone knows you need a Yakuhai, and there just aren't many left. The West is dead, Chun's dead, Haku's dead, Hatsu's. Oh, just draw yourself.
Just Sumo, and Drew will make it over 30,000 to end the game.
GGEZ, Eric in first place with 29.1. Doesn't get the 20 UMA because in the very end there, Drew manages to pull that Sumo, the last South on the wall, split 6.4. In third, Danny with minus 11.7 and Madeline with the minus 23.8. But I just can't get over. You just have to hit the shiny button.
And the scores do update. We see Eric continue to climb almost in the positives now. One more game like that will be almost at 0. And they are playing their final game momentarily.
Yeah, we may switch if another game pops up in the next 4 minutes, but if not, we will stay with this one.
Yeah, I saw some other tables were going on. We have some new game results. We could take a look at what's come up recently.
Sure, let's go ahead and do some reporting of results. We have in C1A, Yoon managing a win at 23.8, Nancy in second with 12.1, Thomas in third minus 10.7, Daryl with minus 25.2. Another C1A match. I believe, wait, no, that's the one we just watched.
It
So that's
is.
all that's happened since we started.
Oh, that's right. I saw an A1 match happen. I thought that was the conclusion. It was just the start. There's also another C1 table that was planned to start at the top of the hour. Did miss a little bit in the timing because of some traffic issues. So a little bit delayed there.
Yeah, and I don't think any other games have started, so we may just stay with this table's next game, which will start in 2 minutes. I say, unless I see something pop up in the next minute or two.
All right, I'll go ahead and pull that game up. It'll be interesting to see. So this will be the fourth game of the series. The players should be fairly comfortable with each other's play styles now. And I feel like the big story is just efficiency here and pulling your big high pie into wins. Eric
Well,
played.
so as you may suspect, there are two parts of any situation. One is you need to be capitalizing on your big hands, and the other is you need to be able to escape when you just don't have the flow. And sometimes that's just a minus 10 or minus 15 third is, or even occasionally minus 30 fourth is still just better than continuing to sink and having one of the minus 60 fourths, which we've seen a few times.
That's really tempting if you find yourself in a hole to keep making aggressive decisions to fight out of it. Sometimes it's better just to accept that you don't have the hand that is going to get you out of trouble and play more
And remember, it's
conservatively.
because it's plus minus over the course of the season. So even dumb stuff where like you're sitting in fourth with 3,000 points and going, well, this is worthless. And you see someone else within striking range so you can pull them down under 30K and not at least have to pay out the full 20 UMA is a huge, not only immediate benefit to yourself, it's also a huge mental boost. If I did nothing right in this game and I still mitigated some damage.
Yeah, even if you're in the dumps in terms of your score and your ability to change placement, there's still usually something to play for. Almost always something to play for in every hand. Not that we saw anything like that in this game. It was fairly close all the way around, especially with Madeline coming back with some big hands at the end. Couldn't quite get out of danger there. But we'll see how this fourth and final game goes. It's set to start any second now. Drew will be the first dealer, Eric on the right, Madeline across the table, and Danny on the left.
Any second indeed, and dealers Drew here. Decent hand here, pretty good shapes altogether. Possible 1, 2, 3 Sanchiku, 1, 2, 3, 4 in pin, where 2 pin is Dora. On the right, pin fu type hand there as well. We're on the 8 so, could also accept Dora. Across the way has a floating 2 pin Dora, but the main thing is the East pair could pawn that. Also could go Honitsu if you want to cut the Dora, but probably. Oh, well,
Hmm.
now you're. Oh, just yeets the Dora. Says, you know what? It's Honitsu. It's just Honitsu. Not even going to consider it. And on the left, pin fu type pen there as well. Maybe 5, 6, 7 Sanchiku and a floating Dora.
Oh, but doesn't drop the 8-pin pair. That's
I'm very surprised by that 2-mon cut. I think if you're bold enough to get the 2 pin, you just cut the 8 pin, 8 pin at this point.
yeah, could be something as simple as just missed, forgot to check the Dora, pulling a push up right now.
And that's something we talked about, and especially in these C1 games, is a lot of people come from other clients, particularly with Zhang Soul, which
Oh,
has tips on four. Let's say this is the reach you're saying, this is how many outs there are, this is where they're sitting. And you
Each.
need to practice some of those no tips games because otherwise you can get yourself in trouble.
we're going to see a dealer Ricci here. Ricci Nomi waiting on 6 so, 9 so.
Kind of tragic when you're the double east, but we know it's actually great because the double east is walked across the way. This is Tempai waiting on that east. Good luck with that.
Yeah, also can win on the 4 mon. Those are twice on the wall. Could switch to the 5
Could
mon
shift
here.
this to a 5 mon wait. I can't imagine you would. Oh, just folds. Oh,
Or
toy.
toy, yeah.
That's a different way to go about this. That'd be some value.
So now you need the 4 mon and the 6 mon because again, those east are locked, but there's the 6.
Oh, just draw the 6 yourself. You definitely jam the 7 into this. Now you're Tempai for what you think is Mongon. Like, there's no way it's actually Mongon because the East is dead.
Now only one.
Oh, but you have a nasty little Nakasuji. This could be a disaster.
Yeah, Eric looks like he will recognize it. 7 months.
The 7 mon's gonna be fine. Okay, just hard folding. 6-pin, not a great tile, but I mean, you have Tempai. This type of Tempai, you're pushing it.
Yeah, Drew's weight's kind of running out now. And Eric actually has paths to Tempai. 7 mon is safe. 7, so is Suji. 7, so about to get pushed.
7 mon is safe. It came out across the way and on the left.
Right. Eric has some chances here if he draws well.
Speaking of the 6-9, it felt like a pretty good weight when it started, but we're getting fairly deep in the hand, and there are only 2 left.
In fact, only 1 6 so left in the wall.
All right, the 9 so discarded. So yeah, well, so much for that idea.
Yeah, the weight is dead, and that's the last 4
And the
mon.
4 mon's also dead. Well, this is going to be a draw, barring a fold.
Yeah, and Eric continues to draw save tiles, so it looks like we'll be very much heading to Ryukyoku. You'd anticipate each player picking up 1,500 points.
Dealer never particularly happy when this happens, but it's better than deal again.
Yeah, well, at least look at the pawn to say the East never came out, so it's not like Ricci was wrong there.
Yeah, that's definitely how you feel about that too. Is you see the tide, you go, well, I guess the East was worthless.
I don't think we want to cheat here. We just want to take the last draw because we have a safe tile.
Yeah, we have a safe tile. There's no reason to get involved in this. And there it is.
East 1, home ball 1, Ricci's taking the pot.
Repeat. I mean, decent shapes here, no value. You have the 2-4-6 pin, completed shape in Mon with 1, 2, 3, and then a floating 5-9 Mon. On the right, pin fu hand there as well. Shapes are a little less defined. 2-4-5-8, never great, but it's like, whatever. Across the way, East pair, Haku pair,
It's the
you
same
just pull
hand.
and go. Easy hand.
Just like the last
And
one, East pair, Haku pair.
Yeah, only this time it's not Mochi Mochi, at least not yet.
Right.
May end up being that way. Oh, just yeets the Dora again. That seems to be a theme
This
here.
truly is
Madeline
the
says,
same
the
hand.
Dora doesn't fit, I don't care, it's gone. And on the left, that's likely going to be a Ricci Nova. That hand is awful in terms of shapes. You're looking at the 1, 3, 4, 4, 6, 8 pin, and just go, ugh.
So something to talk about for that Dora cut. You don't have to consider that as just a floating 3-so and a 5-6-7 shape. You could think of it as a 6-7 Diamen and a 3-5 Kanchan in your hand. So the 3-so, not necessarily completely unattached to the rest of your shapes. And indeed, we did draw the 4-so, which would have sort of filled the 3-5 Kanchan. Could have had a 3-sided shape here that incorporated the Dora, thinking about it that way. As is, though, still a very good Ishanten.
I'm going to go out on a limb and display some amazing, insightful Mahjong knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Dora are good. You should get Dora.
Well, redrew the Dora, so cut the tone pair, perhaps suspecting that it's Mochi Mochi this round too.
Turns out it's not, but that's fine. Oh, you should definitely cut the East here. I do not like the 6, because you can end up drawing the 6 or the Haku yourself and you just reach you 3-sided. Instead, we have a Dama on the left with no Yaku. Doesn't really want to wait on the Shaw. Looks like, wait, is the Shaw live?
It is.
Yeah, it is. I'd smash that button so fast.
Maybe this is just hoping for Pinfu here. You can draw four mon or 6 mon.
Well, there are upgrades for Pinfu, which you'd really want to do Peiko.
Yeah, you Peiko as well. It's a couple
Oh
options.
no, I hate that chi. That's a bad chi.
Yeah, it's technically Tempai, but there's no Yaku here, not with the Haku pair. And this is where if you still had the 6-so or any other pair candidate, you'd still have an option.
Well, there's
call
already
pull.
Peiko on the left. This should
Riichi.
definitely be the Riichi. That was the fishing for any sort of upgrade. Didn't want the Riichi Nami.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
Shaw, I mean, if anyone draws, there's decent chance it comes out.
It's going to be a tough defensive task for the open hands. And Eric holding this Haku hasn't dropped it yet, might be concerned that the Haku deals in.
Okay, gonna cut the 7-5. We'll be able to get back towards Tempai now with an actual hand. Problem is there is one Haku left. It just feels like when's the Shaw coming? That's the real question here.
A 5-so passing is a big relief. It's close to the door, so you don't really want to drop it. And there's your
there
Shaw.
it goes. I think it just deals in. Like, I don't see how you ever get away from that.
You probably should be able to dodge for a turn, dropping the 5-so that just came out, but still the Shaw will be dropped upon finding Tempai, so...
And we are in East 2 now. Dealer is Eric. That looks like a Jun-chan type hand, but now that we look at it from a forward point of view, no, it's just regular. Maybe even a Peiko, some shifting and lower so. And you dream of Rion Peiko. It is possible, but unlikely. On the right, speaking of dreams, possible Suanko there. You have a bunch of pairs. And an Onko. Across the way, it's a Pinfu hand. You have an extended pin shape, but it's probably just going to be regular type hand, especially with that 3-so draw. It's just a regular hand. And on the left, Riichi, Pinfu, Tanyao, maybe Dora.
Unfortunately for Madeline, the dreams are dashed as the Shaw gets cut twice in the first row. Very unlikely to get Sadanko now. I wonder if you end up still using the Shaw as a pair in the hand, or if you try to switch to Tanyao.
Ooh, interesting draw there for dealer. Says, okay, if we went on the 5, we went on the 5. I don't like the 2-so cut. I think if you're going to do that, you cut the 1-so.
For a potential future shift to Tanyao?
Yeah, exactly. Like, these shapes are bad enough, I'm thinking about it. Of course, I am known for always thinking about these types of things.
That's true. This may not be 10%, but you the Tanyao desire still exists. Just about every hand. It's just a free hot.
Well, when your shapes are bad, well, this is Tempai. But it's like, do you even want this Tempai?
Imagine a 3-mon draw.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is I might have just cut 6 mon.
There's the Sanchoku.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I might have just cut the 6 mon and immediate punish.
Oh, and 3-mon is 3 in the wall, too. There's a decent chance of what would have been a Tsumo. In terms of the 5-mon,
this also feels like an Aka Ari play more than an Akanashi play. It's like waiting on 5, not that bad when one of them is red. Generally pretty awful when none of them are red.
Yeah, in this case, there were all 4 5-mon in the wall. 2 have been drawn.
Possible Chi-Toy opening up across the way now.
Chi-Toy.
7-pin Suji or Ishunt, and I definitely push it. That's the plan. There's another one of those 5s. And that's a 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku now on the left.
Some
very wide Ishunt 10. You're really sad if you draw 7, so. Oh, no, just deal it. Riichi Nomi, but does get back over 30k. And dealer again here with a pretty decent Pinfu hand. You have a floating 9-mon Dora. On the right, Pinfu type hand there as well. Nothing special. Across the way. Ooh, Chanta. Maybe Hatsu.
You got the 7
That's one of
mon.
those where I say there are a lot of different ways to play it because I can see at least 6 different ways that could be played. On the left, though, ooh, that's a nice draw. The fill in there, but you have that 5 5 6 6, and one of those is probably going to be your pair.
Yeah, we'll have to
Beautiful shape and pin though with a 3 4 5 6 7 8.
plenty of time for that shape to improve. We see the east pair up on the right just after it gets cut. A little bit of bad timing there. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what ends up happening with Toyman's hand with aggressively holding these dragons. W Yakuhai would be excellent here, but the Haku is twice cut now. Imagine that's coming out here pretty soon.
Ooh, 9-pin's a pretty big upgrade there on the left. You could turn this into Itsu, and that's going to be the play.
And now you can drop one of those Mon pairs if you
I
feel
mean, you
to
can
set it
always
so.
pawn the 5 and just go Tanya if it comes anyway. You're not locked into anything doing this. The 3 doesn't do anything for that hand.
Yeah, but the nice thing is you have options, and options are always good in this game.
Especially when you don't like your shapes, and I do not like my shapes in that hand. There's a pawn on the right. Wants to keep the floating 5 mon as opposed to the floating 8-pin.
Decision point now. You just take the Tanya? Yeah, it goes with the 9
I'm just
pin.
going to lock the Tanya in, figuring you're going to pawn the 5 or the 6. East has been called on the right, but still kind of a messy Ishunt. Ooh, speaking of messy Ishunten, what do you do on the left?
4, so... Do we have
I think
Sanchoku
I like
here?
the 8. So, well, there are Sanchoku outs
Yeah.
if you draw, say, not like that.
This exactly.
Definitely 3-pin. 100% 3-pin.
You could also 4-6 and say I've got Furi-ten
You could, yeah, you could.
three-sided.
No,
But
6 is just wrong here.
yeah, 6 fits a
You
number of
can go
ways
the
into this
3.
hand.
You can take the wider Ishunten, although it's going to be Furiten quite a bit. So that's why I threw the 3-pin, but I don't hate the 4-6.
Okay, finds Tempai anyway. Ricci,
Yeah.
Tanya,
So
Pinfu,
well, even
potentially
if
Peiko.
you cut the 3 last turn like you were supposed to, you'd still be in the same situation.
Right.
So you didn't lose anything here. Interesting. That is not Tempai taken on the right. Didn't want to push the south into this. South is what, once cut? I definitely push that.
Yeah, to the player who's not in the south seat. Oh, just draw the south. Take your Tempai anyway.
Yeah, waiting on 6 mon. Not gonna happen though. There is oh, I guess there is one left in the wall still. Dealer says I've had enough of this. Ricci with 3 Dora.
Woo.
Waiting on 3 4 mon. The 4s are dead, 1 3 is dead.
Yeah, drew the third 9 mon into Tempai.
Speaking of 4 7, there is 0 4s. Uh-oh. Well, that means that weight is dead now, assuming there's a fold on the right.
Yeah, south came up, so was certainly trying to fold. Oh,
No,
the 3!
no! Pushes the 3, deals into the dealer Mongon with that ugly weight. But, I mean, if it's good enough, that's what matters. Mongon there. And Eric in another commanding first. Possible even 79 Sanjuku shift with this hand. But Ishanten just for a regular hand anyway. On the right, Anko of East, that's just Honetsu. I'm just going.
That's
Like,
Dora
you don't even
3.
have to. Now I look at it, that's Dora.
Kong.
Yeah, you don't even have to be fancy with a hand like
Khan
that.
into 4!
Con 4 flow. This is getting silly.
We thought we saw the big hand.
Pinfu type hand, nothing fancy there. Really wants a 7 mon. And on the left, we mentioned Con of 8-pin into the 8-pin Dora, planning on calling the Haku. The problem is the rest of the shapes aren't great. Well, with that 3 mon, I think you play normally. Yeah, that's going to be the play here.
Yeah, you're thinking about being greedy for Hanemon, especially after dealing away 12k. But at this point, with the Khan, with another hand you have to fight against, you just want to bank your points.
Yeah, it's a Mongon. Generally, the rule is you see Mongon, you take Mongon.
And it can't even be more if you get there closed in Ricci.
Yep, 3-sided especially. In fact, I get rid of this 8 so now. It doesn't do anything in this hand. You're never really going to turn this into Itsu.
I guess if you draw the 7 mon or 7, so
well, if you draw
exactly.
the 7, so you just reach.
Yeah, that's true.
The only way you'd even consider it is the 9, so and then you have bad shape, and you're not doing it there either.
Here we
Well,
go,
they're
Tenpai.
easy. Smash that button.
I
Some
wouldn't.
people would Dama this. When you're in fourth, I do not like the idea of Dama. I mean, you're probably going to win, but I feel like the Hanuman Sumo here is very likely.
Oh, we're gonna see a Ricci here.
And you have to chase Ricci this, 100%.
ズモ
Oh, well, what? This is the second time Madeline's gotten in big trouble just not reaching things that probably should have been reaching. Does hit the Mongon there, but that would have been Hanuman minimum, and any Aura turns that to Baimon.
Yeah, I think if you're on a bad weight there, maybe you can just take the Dama and hope to improve that later and take your win. But with three-sided, that feels very promising for Atsumo.
Well, regardless, does get the Mongon Sumo here. Has a decent hand with a floating door and a pair of Chun. Problem is that floating door is Hatsu. You look at this and thinking, did I Sangan in the ear? No, it's just not. Can you turn to Hanitsu? Is it going to be regular hand? Is it going to be Chun? I don't really know. Yeah, you have enough pairs you could even consider maybe even cutting 7-9 pin, but instead cuts Haku. On the right, we have South pair, which can be called. That is the Yakubai there. And a whole bunch of mediocre shades. You're just looking to call and be done with a hand like this. I'd probably even pull that 9 pin. Across the way, it's just pin fu, I think, if you draw the 3 pin. Yeah, it is. So it's Ishanten right now. You would have to throw the door, but if you get the 3 pin, it'd be perfectly fine. And on the left, pin fu type shape there as well, but needs some work, especially in Mon with that 3, 5, 5, 6, 8, 9 Mon. So I need, what, 7 Mons, 4 Mon, and then something back to the 5.
With this dealer hand, dropping Dora, but progressing nicely. He shot that already. And Dora probably wasn't fitting in that hand, so it seemed justified to cut there.
Dealer
Yeet.
here
Oh.
is just going to float the 5. So Ricci across the way does go ahead, and there goes the Dora last turn, waiting on that 3 pin Penchon. Let's see, I don't really like this. I'd be cutting the 5 so every time instead of the 4 Mon, because if I get some sort of Upeko shift, I can cut one of these dumb pairs and not worry about it. Oh, there's the 3, and it's Suji. May come right out. No, good dodge with that tune. I will definitely say I'd have dealt into that one.
Might be rewarded here. You shot 10 now.
Yeah, it could be Ricci Tanyao. Won't be Pinfu without some upgrades or shifts.
Ooh, well, do you drop a pair here?
Sanshoku. I mean, you just cut 7-7. Question is which one?
Yeah, they both look kind of equivalent. I like this play. This is very aggressive. And rewarded. Let's
rewarded
go.
instantly. Smash that button.
It's 3D10 this time. Well,
again, I
we
think
saw
you
this
just
before.
Ricci. Pinfu, Sanshoku, Sumo guaranteed.
Right. So in this situation, is there any draw that would get you improve your shape out of 3D10? You could draw a 5 pin.
4 pin. Oh no, 4. Yeah, 4 pin. Use Sumo. You could if you drew like 7 pin. You could jam the 3 and deal in.
Right.
But then you lose the guaranteed Sanchoku anyway, so I don't even know if I like it. Just folding out, it looks like.
Yeah. And if you're planning to fold, then not to clear the
maybe
Ricci.
I
You
get a
can't clear
cheat
Ricci.
toy. No, okay, just folding.
And there still are options here for like a 7-pin pull, and if you're worried about the 4-7 Suji.
And at that point, people at the table say, you know what? I'll go for K10.
Oh, and
that's Senpai on the right. Ricci Pinfu. Waiting on 6-9 Mon. We see 4 discarded and 3 in hand, so just 1 in the wall. But the 3 pin is completely dead.
Here's that 7. It's real tough to push, and it's not going to be. I'm not even that concerned about this 3, so I might have cheated that 5 so back into Tenpai.
I definitely would have pawned that 7 Mon and thought long and hard about jamming the 4 Mon into this.
Will be Ryukyoku, though. Drew.
Yeah, get 2 players Tenpai, Ricci Pinfu against the Ricci Nomi, and dealer goes, maybe I should have pushed a little more against those. But regardless, doesn't deal in. We are in East 4.
Yeah, dealer did well to hold that 3 pin.
Yes, very nice hold there. I say I'd have dealt it for sure. And this is Dunny with dealer here. Pin fu type hand, but you're only 8 mon and then probably 6 pin because you have the 36679 in mon.
Oof.
Oh, well, that's a complete I'm in there with a 4 so. And in pin a 123557 on the right. Eh,
Hmm.
I'm trying to look for anything, and it's just not there. It's just bad. Across the way, Pinfu. No, just a Richinomi is Shunten right now. You also have a floating 9 pin Dora. Could be Shumpon with the South 8 mon weight. And on the left, it's a Pinfu ish type hand. You're only 3 pin, and you still don't have enough blocks yet.
I was wondering about that 5 so, but the 9 pin is just Dora, so might as well
Yeah,
just roll with
not
your good
5 so
shapes.
feels fine.
Oh, now Ipeko Pinshu chance. That Mon Poland.
Dealer up to a much nicer Ishunten.
Oh, this will be Tenpai first though. Richie no me.
Each.
You just hit the button. It's one where you're like, I want more, but it's if that's what the game gives you, that's what the game gives you.
Dealer.
It's a Suji, I imagine that. Oh, I don't like that at all. I think you just push the Suji 8 pin here, or 8 mon. 8. So I'll get the suit eventually. There are only 3 of them.
Yeah, if you really want to push your hand, you can try the 8 so. I mean, the Kanchan's not great because it's a Dora indicator, but because the Richie dropped the Dora anyway, it's not likely that they
Well,
want
that's
the 8
just
pin
it. You
either.
figure, well, if they drop the Dora, there's no more than one in the hand. It's probably pretty cheap. And again, you're
Done.
dealer. But now we're going to see how expensive it actually is. Ricci, Nora, so gets the one home bub, but more importantly, gets the sticks and out over 30,000 for Eric.
Yeah, at that point of the win, there were 3 Richie sticks.
So what do you think this hand is?
Honitsu.
Yeah.
I
Just
wonder if you
yeah.
can make Chi
On the
Toy.
right, well, it could be both.
Yeah, exactly.
On the right, 678 Sanchiku now with that draws potentially have a floating 8 pin. The problem with the shapes here are awful. You have 5568 Mon and 1266 8 pin. 8 pin is Dora, so you'd have one of those, but the rest of the hand, eh. Across the way, that's a Pinfu hand, but again, just not great value there. And on the left, Hatsu pair. I think you just call it go.
So notably, Drew.
And the shapes are actually really bad on the left now that I look at them. You may just end up waiting and going Cheetoy with it.
Mm, yeah.
I'd call. I mean, when I see it, it's like, no, shiny pawn button. Pawn.
Yeah, notably, Drew passed both of the Shah and also passed the one so I don't think he's committing to Honitsu here.
Well, the problem is it'd be Honitsu only, but as dealer, like, it's good enough.
Well, Dora
If you may be able to con something later, it's even better.
was also drawn and discarded, so I thought it was trying to be a Honitsu play, but no,
Maybe going closed Honitsu, but it could be really hard. It's
Mm.
just always 2 pin.
Yeah, you need to draw.
I think if 9 so comes out, you just call it either way. But yeah, not calling the Shaw makes us very weak.
I guess you can always shift to Chinitsu.
Yeah, but you're getting so far behind in this hand. Because it's turn 7 and you still have at minimum 2 tiles to discard.
Progress made all around the table.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just 8-6.
Decides go with the 6 first. Makes sense. Toyman Ishan
The
10
problem is you really don't want to be on this Shaw pawn 5, so if you, with the Shaw, I
Chi.
cheat this. Yeah, you just take Tempai. And now, if like 4 so comes, then you actually have an amazing Chi. Chiing the 5-6, cutting Shaw, and now you have confirmed Itsu.
Chiritsu Itsu would be amazing for dealer.
Nice little dealer honeymoon surprise.
Yeah, when you see these calls, you're expecting at least Chinitsu, especially if Shasha leaves the hand. You're not expecting the
You're
Hanemon.
expecting Honitsu. You're not expecting Shinitsu yet.
Yeah, yes.
Home.
Well, no, so actually, kind of looking at these discards, I'm confused. When I look at this pond, I can't read anything. It's like maybe it's some weird Honitsu shift late.
Yeah, if you
But why were Haku and I guess Haku makes sense. Why did Hatsu get cut?
if I see
That'd
a
be I'd be sitting here just going, huh?
Forso Chi into Shaw cut, I'm thinking it's a late shift to Chinitsu.
Yeah, that's exactly yeah. If you see Forso into Shaw, then I'm a little scared.
So he's been Ishunted for so long, cannot find the Tempai top draw.
Oh, four. I guess it would be potentially Furitan. I don't know why the 1, 2, 3 wasn't kept because this should be Tempai, and I don't like the 9 so either. Well, I guess at this point may just be thinking K10, which isn't a terrible option given how bad a lot of this hand is, and it's so late.
Yeah, maybe planning a Door Tonki. He just believes I can get Tempai in the Monsu, Door Tonki, and it will come out.
Ooh, I mean, you just cut 6 so, and now you have Itsu.
Yeah, chance if you can win on the 4.
Yeah, just went on the 4. The 7's just a mistake.
At this point, I don't know if 6 so. It's pretty dangerous to the rest of the table. Maybe not on the right, but
I mean, the hand on the right's the one we'd be the scared of, and it's Shimaguri 3. Like, I'm not that worried. We already threw the 9 not that long ago. It's fine.
I feel like players are playing around me, not the other way around. If I'm dealer here,
Exactly. I'm dealer. I'm the one showing you. I probably have Mongon and maybe even Hanemon. They should be scared of you. Oh, that 6 should never come out, though. This should be the 8. Oh, 8-pin's door. I think you just fold. 4-mon isn't bad.
yeah, 8-pin is safe to the
And yeah, that's
dealer,
what you
but
play.
you don't want to allow anyone else to call it.
Tempai. Oh, there's your
Ah,
Forso!
looks like we're heading to Ryukoku, but there's one more discard to make. And it's a discard into Tempai. All right, Madeline gets there
All
too.
right, 3 players get to Tempai, and Eric's like, what? What just happened? Because everyone late Tadashi there,
Yeah,
except for the dealer.
it was
I will say those are incredibly tilting to deal with.
like
It's like, oh, I was fine. I'm paying out 1,000. Oh, I'm also paying out 3,000. What?
you're thinking I'm gonna pay 1,000. That's okay. Then there's a Tadashi. Okay, 1,500. That's fine. Then the last Tadashi
1,500 is
say.
fine. Ah.
A pair of Haku there is also very sad when the Haku is twice cut.
Yeah, dealer's hand sucks. Maybe you went to their Sanshiku, but anytime you'd be looking for the door indicator, like, I just hate everything about this hand. On the right, similarly, it's just bad shapes. Your best shape is an overflow with a 3, 4, 4, 6 in Mon. You have the Haku pair, but you didn't call the first one. The second one's dead, so it's just dead. This hand's dead. Also dead, just because I think it's appropriate to keep saying the word. It's dead. Across the way, Pin Fu type hand. The shapes aren't great. Like, it's a long way off. And on the left, Pin Fu shape. All these hands are just trash.
I was gonna say the
These are
same thing.
all irredeemable garbage.
So it's really interesting when everyone has a bad hand. You get to see how the hand construction works, and if anyone can even find Tempai here. It looks like Toyman maybe has an advantage here in terms of shapes, but yeah, one door on
I
the
mean,
right.
when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking who has the best ability to call, and it's probably Madeline here. But Madeline hasn't really shown the aggression to call here, and you still need that 2-mon unless you're going Tanya.
And I think I would try to stay as close as
Well,
I
now
can
you
here.
just E-shunted. Oh, doesn't wait, is that no, breaks the E-shunted. Wants to go Tanya with this, I think.
Yeah, so there's a couple options here. You could be greeting for the Shaw pair up. You could try to be going Tanyao. You could greet the Dora draw. I think there's lots of reasons to drop the 1-mon there. It's very flexible. Now we're losing some of those
And
reasons.
cuts the 3-pin, doesn't want the tile near the door here. I think there's some pretty big efficiency issues. I don't really like the 1-3 in the hand, but it's better than this save tile. Like, dealers throwing random stuff. The player on the right's throwing random stuff. The player on the left is actually the one where looking at that pawn I'd be the most scared of.
It doesn't look like they're doing
But
much
as we
other
can
than
see, it's
Nagashi,
the
but
yeah, it's not. Well, it's one of those where it's like that could be E-Shunten any second
right.
because they're obviously building 4-pin is a really easy Dora to use. Like, those are the hands I'm often scared of, and a lot of other people think exactly the opposite way. Is You're afraid of the Tans that are throwing these mid tiles.
Yeah, well, you get to the end of row 2, and that's where they
Yeet.
drop a 4-pin or something, Ricci, and you're like, oh, I have no info, and I have to try to defend against this
Exactly. This should be the 7-mon discard. That way
Nakasuji
you set up
trap.
potential Nakasuji on the 4, and that is the play. There are 2 4s. Oh, there's your 2-mon across the way. Again, just punished for inefficiency. Yeah, no, that'd be Sumo. This is Tempai waiting on 1 4-mon.
Yeah, I think this one is a fair no Ricci, though.
Yeah.
It would have made
So about
Patsumo.
that.
You just can't win. Just always take your Fury 10 Riccis. You'll always get Ipatsumo.
I'm
thinking
I don't even think I need to say anything here.
against Dealer Ricci with no Dora, I'm okay with folding out there.
I think that was a much more reasonable Dama than the other several I've complained about. But in the meantime, Eric is getting back to the game. Eric is dealer, is called the East, couldn't even go toy with this, and is actually in a pretty good shape here. On the right, Chun pair. And you have a few other pairs. Similarly, could eventually go to toy, but I think just Chun. Across the way, maybe Itsu. Shapes need a little bit of work. You have floaters all over the place. And just slims down with that 8-mon for now. On the left, I mean, it could be Itsu and Mon. Now you have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the problem is the rest of the hand, not great. 2, 4, 6 pin, and then just random honor floaters.
Trying to see who can incorporate the door the best, and really no one can. I mean, Toyman has an 8 pin, but I don't think anyone's going to be using Dora this round.
Dealer now on a very wide Shunten. Potential 3-sided weight if the 1-4 pin were to come. And there it is. So, okay, here's a thought. I would absolutely pull in 2-pin or 3-pin.
I would pull in 1 pin.
I would think on 1. Well, yeah, because 1's already 1 out, I'd probably call it. If it were live, I'd probably pass the first one.
I mean, the value is just enough for me to even wait 2 pin, 3
different.
pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good catch when you have a Puln and an Ipeko. You can a lot of times think about turning that Ipeko into a couple more Pulns in Toy.
I just feel that 5 is very loose for Maddle and it could come out. Oh, just Sumo. And you can see the hesitation. Did not have auto road on, but it's like, okay, Sumo. There was definitely a pause there. Did not want to take that, but I think it's the right play there.
I mean, if you're
so we're in South 2 again.
If you're in a deeper hole, you can consider just passing the Sumo there, and you'd probably have cut the 7 already and held a safe tile, aiming for the toy.
Yeah,
but
no,
in this
I
situation,
agree with that. There's definite ways to play that.
Makes sense. Just take your points. Nice hand for dealer.
Yeah, you don't. If it gives it to you, you just okay, thanks, whatever. Dealer here has a Pinfu Tanya. Nice draw of the 3-pin there. They send a little better. I might even go north here. I would go north. I want Tanya out of this. On the right, ooh, nice little 3-sided fill there. We'll have potential 3, 6, 9 pin now. Can call the Chun, go Chun Dora 1. Oh, and speaking of Dora draws.
Yeah,
oh my goodness, what is that on the right? We haven't even gotten to their hands, but I'll be honest, you aren't missing much.
Yeah. The other two are slow and struggling. The one on the right.
And that was probably the only way to save the hand was to cheat that 3 and go Junshan, and it was passed. So I think that hand's over on the left. Oh, just draw another Dora.
Wow. These Dealer and Dealer Eric and Madeline duking it out here. Both hands Ishanten with great weights. Will the Chun ever leave Drew's hand?
That suggests it will.
Oh, well, probably not going to be called out. You go Chun
here and say forget it.
Sanshoku.
Oh, no, not the 8. No, I don't like that.
Oh, we're missing Tanyo and Pinfu with this cut.
Could still get Sanshoku from it. And there's your like, what have you done? I don't like any of this.
Yeah, I think the play there is either cut the Chuns and go for the Tanya Pinfu plan, or cut the 5 so
And then you can hide to hedge it and potentially get your opponent on the tune for your tune door one to get back. Oh, well, now we have Sanshoku potentially.
Yeah, choosing the Sanchoku chance over the door acceptance with the 5/8
And
Nozotan.
in this situation, I'm looking for a way to shift out, but that's Furiton. As much as we may have some cultists floating around, the Furiton 3-so. Although, given
Yeah.
how Madeline's been with Furiton, maybe that was the play. Who knows? Here's a dealer Ichi, though.
Yeah, the strategy, just put yourself in Furiton because you always sumo. It's a very strong dealer hand though. Ricci, Pinfu, Dora 2 with chance at
Possible
Tanyo as well.
Tanyao. Could throw the 7-pin if you wanted, but I think you just force the 3-mon.
Yeah, nothing's good here for Madeline, so you just make your
Okay,
best save
bails
tile.
out of the Sanshoku. I don't think the 6 is any safer than the 3.
Maybe just looking at the couple 7-mon that have come out said it's you know.
Oh, well, there's a Dora.
Sumo.
There's
Oh,
the sumo.
just sumo.
All right, 2,000 plus the Ricci
Wouldn't
stick.
have gotten the Sanshoku, so it's fine.
Yeah, this is really big. Madeline now in second place, over 30k, and with this high pie.
Well, this is the Honitsu if you can get it.
We'll see how hard she pushes it.
I'm going for it. Like, unless I draw a bunch of other... I definitely got the 4-so, like, first turn. Because if we connect to the 4-so, we can go normal hand with the Haku. But as is, I'm definitely dreaming at the start.
Yeah, we've seen at this table players not so greedy to force Onitsu. Maybe just a personal
And the
preference.
commentary booth, us getting mad at it, too. It's definitely one of the easiest two-hand Yaku, plus it lets you call. But we've seen a lot of people that feel very uncomfortable doing any sort of Mawashi, that instead of just pushing Suji and continuing, they generally just hard folding a lot of the time. And if that's the situation, I can definitely see a little more caution. Is that Tempai on the right?
It is.
It is.
Shabo.
2-mon, 9-mon. I think if you're going to do that, you cut 9-mon. If you're going to keep the situation here and look for more value.
I think this might be a Chinitsu Dama.
Oh, that's possible. Well, see, I'd have cut the 9-mon. I'd drawn the 8, so I just have the Ricci Tanya, and it's fine. Across the way, it's a pin Fu hand, but a kind of an awkward one. Distant options for pin Itsu.
Oh, here's the
And
Itsu.
on the left... Ooh,
wait, not quite,
well,
not
there's
quite.
your one. Now we're going to find out.
4-so? Going for the Itsu, okay.
Ugh. I'm going to need a 6-mon or a 9-mon to be able to make that Itsu. I think that's just a strictly worse shape. And on the left, it's just hedging both the Peikos, but it's probably Street Funomi.
Definitely a weird spot. I don't hate cutting 4-so, 3-so, 2-so, and just forcing Chinitsu out of that shape. If the 9-mon hadn't been cut once already, I'd be even more inclined to do so.
No, there's a 5-so. Nice little improvement for the Dio here.
Technically Ishan 10, but the pair candidates are not very strong.
Not great. You have the 3-4-4-5 and 3-4-4-5.
Well,
well, now it's do not hit button. Do not hit the button.
Okay, Russian.
Okay, this Dama, I agree with. We know the 4-so's coming. We just know it.
Only one 4-so live in the wall, just magnetically attached.
I think we all just die if this happens.
Eat. Oh, we're gonna see a Ricci from Eric. Oh, this tells not much better.
You could cut 8-9-mon.
Oh, good play.
There's a 4-mon on the right. This may deal in.
It's just Ricci Nomi.
Ricci.
That's going to be the Ricci, and that's going to be the expensive end.
Side.
Ricci, Ibatsui, Peiko. No Aura, but that's going to be a nice little pickup for Eric, back over 40,000. Dealer is Danny.
Nice little high
pretty
pie.
good Pinfu shape, floating Dora. Possible upgrades to Itsu now, if you draw like 5-mon. On the right, It's a pin foo shape, but it's not a good one. Could just go Tanya with it. Across the way, similarly, it's a pin foo, but again, just not a good one. The shapes aren't really. Calls the East. What is. Oh, it's Dora. Probably just going to brute force Honitsu out of this then.
I'm a fan of
Hasn't
this.
decided which shape it is.
Call the Dora, find your Yaku later.
It is definitely a way you can do it. On the left, though, has the Hatsu pair and a huge incentive just call it and end this. Possible Cheetoy if you don't, though. Dealer Ishan 10 now.
Yeah, Eric has the Haku pair up and the South pair up available.
ポン
I 100% call that. You're sitting here going, I want second. It's good enough. I don't like the 3-mon, though. Oh, speaking of possible Itsu upgrades,
Oof.
I said if you get that 5-mon, you're thinking it.
Yeah, you're absolutely holding out for it. The only bad Tempai draw here is the 7-mon. You're not even that upset.
Ishan 10 on the left, but we'll need the 6 and then the 6-9.
Of course, there's the 9-mon and the 8 so for Tempai that don't give Itsu, but certainly less likely.
Oh, and actually take a step back. Doesn't want the overlap now.
Eric trying to find a Yaku, any Yaku, Toy hedging, Yakuhai hedging, Honitsu hedging.
And that is, they say, not it.
Here
Well,
it is.
now you just reach you the 9.
リーチ
Richi, Pinshu, potential Sanchoku on the 4-mon. 7-mon also will win in this hand.
That would not be Sanchoku. That would be Itsu.
Oh, sorry, wrong word. 2-han anyway.
It's one of those closed 2, open 1-han hands.
Right. Tough choice here for
Along
Drew.
with, I believe, Chanta being the only other one.
Now everyone in the
You
chat
don't think about it. Chanta is actually worth 2-han closed, just so rare.
racking their brains trying to find all the 1 open, 2 closed hands.
And I think Eric has no incentive whatsoever. I am very surprised 3-so is not called. Just folding out mostly, but 8's a push. Oh, no, it's not. It's game on the right. Never mind.
Yeah, Drew, I mean, no, everyone's going to have a tough time defending against this. Not a lot of info given.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Oh, no. Oh, no. If the 5-mon is drawn.
That would be tragic. You've got Tanya Pinfu potential
Yeah, I don't see how you
Sanshoku.
ever get away from it if that happens.
That's Hudi 10. We'll take it. We'll take the shape 147.
It's not Tempai, so it's fine. Well, that's not the person who's worried about the 5-mon, so I am actually going to be another fold. 2-so looks fine. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, 5-mon should also be Nakasuji. I think the 8-mon came out.
Oh, well, there's our Haku pair across the way.
All of a sudden, Eric's got a hand.
リーチ
Drew not afraid of the Hudi 10 here. Ricci, potential Tanyao.
I mean, now the 4. Oh, the 4's dead, so you can only deal in with a 7 anyway.
Or just
Oh, just
Sumo.
Sumo. You just donated the stick. Ricci, Sumo, Pinfu. No Ura. But will close the gap with 30k in second place, but still not there yet. Has a couple pairs. The hand isn't great. It's not like awful, but it's not good. You need the 5-so, 7-so, and maybe even 2-3-so. Then it's good. On the right, few pairs. I think you may even just want to go Tanya. The problem is you need more value than that. So you're looking to pull in 6-mon, 6-mon, getting Peiko out of it. Across the way, Pinfu type hand, but almost at an 8 pin. It feels like that's I'm probably folding from turn 1, which you did see in the last game.
Mm-hmm.
On the left, a Hatsupon, and probably just looking for any Tempai. Ideally, pay Tonki. Best Tonki. Always best Tonki.
Yeah, Peitonka just seems to always win.
I don't like the 4-pin here. I think you just throw the 2 back.
Dealer
Or
throws
even
out
the 8.
the Dora. So Eric
Well,
says,
dealer's in a
"Thank you."
situation that doesn't care.
Right.
Like, dealer's just going for it.
But that also makes Eric's play interesting. He might try to feed this open hand now. Because we know there's not a door pair there. It would almost certainly have gotten called.
3-so would be I to cheat that 3-so. Oh, well, there's your furry 10. Pick the wrong cut.
Yeah, standard cut, but got a little bit of a backfire there.
I have a Haku pair across the way. Could even go Chitoy.
Chitoi, a great defensive Yaku. You can still essentially throw your hand away and still find Teppai. Don't have to be holding dangerous tiles in order to fight for your hand.
Well, that's a workable upgrade. Still potentially very furry 10. As opposed to semi-furry 10 or partially furry 10. This just feels like it's destined.
Eric may be trying to fold, but the wall's not letting him.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
There's a Paimon.
Oh my goodness, what does that do to that shape?
It's like
yeah,
the
you just
double of
call
Yamen,
it down.
Ishanten. Dealer really wants to redraw 369, so it's Salmon-chan, so it should come any second now, right?
Oh, well, that's an interesting draw.
Oh, I think I like the
Cuts
3
the
mon.
1. 3-mon's much more normal there, even with the 1-1-1 cut. And the 2 9-pin have been cut. That
Yeah,
makes
but
more
you could
sense.
draw 8-pin
I think
too.
if you're going to do that, you cut 9-pin.
Pom.
Just a Tanya shift on the right says, we'll just try and get out of this mess because this hand isn't winning. And punished. Tempai on the right, though, for Tanya possible Sanshoku.
3-so, 6-so, where 3-so is Takame. 2 3-so in the wall, only 1 6-so.
We haven't mentioned it, but there's a Tempai on the left now for 7-pin. And a Tempai across the way on 2-5 mon. There's
that
the
too.
2. Oh, it's going to knock
nice.
under 30k. That's a huge win. A direct hit, as that's going to put Eric with a plus 20 Uma, knocking Madeline under 30k.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Your Tempai and that tile would have been safe a turn ago. Eric, the big winner then, 31.5, will actually go positive after this game now. Madeline takes a very slight negative. Danny, a slightly larger one. Drew will take the 4th, although when you're at 4th place with 21,000 points, probably just didn't get very many hands going your way that game.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there. Well, I think we're going to switch. We have a couple options, an A1 game that started a few minutes ago, or a B1 game that starts in about 10 seconds.
Well, let's go with the one we can watch all of.
Okay, this will be a B1 game with Eric, Matthias, Christine, and Travis. I believe this series was already partially cast.
Oh, is that the case?
Yeah, I think we go to the A1 game
Let's
then.
do that then. Yeah, we haven't seen any of A1.
So
I
this
haven't seen
is
much of A1
Max,
recently.
Alex, Simon, and Vincent. I believe they already played at least a couple of games today. Let me pull the sheet up. The game was Alex in first with 27, Simon in second with 16, Max minus 15.6, and Vincent with minus 27.9. The game before that was Max in first at 22.6, Vincent at 8.5, Alex minus 9.9, and Simon at minus 21.2. I believe this is game 3.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't see any others. This is probably game 3.
Okay, we'll slowly adjust the information on the right, but shift around to Simon's dealership.
This is Simon has north pair, which isn't great when you have that north door indicator, but it's just Pinfu, so you probably don't have to think too much. On the right, Haku pair can be called down, but may just want to play this close, because I don't think you probably end up using the Haku as your pair. Possible Chanta shifts later. Well, so much for that idea after the 6-0 draw. Across the way, it's kind of an ugly Pinfu. Like, you want to go Junchan with that for any sort of value. I mean, 79 Sanshku in there too, but it's just not there. And on the left, a south pair, west pair. I mean, you're looking to call something. I want to go either Chanta or an Itu, or maybe both. But Ishan 10 for Vincent on the right can always call the Haku 8 too, so.
Yeah, all these player. I mean, A1 is so tight this season, not a huge spread, especially in the middle of the table. And it looks like Max, Alex, and Simon all hanging around there. Vincent, the one player who's up ahead in this group.
Yeah, Vincent, I believe, had a very strong first session and just basically been kind of sitting on it since. And there's our pawn for Tempai. We'll wait on the Suji Tuso. They just came out. And when I see that pawn, I think there are Dora in there.
Yeah, so many central tiles. Oh,
Well,
there is the Dora.
there is Dora, but I think you just throw it. No, goes for the green. Says, you know what, we'll be able to pull in the 3. It's fine.
And if you don't pull the 3, you can redraw the 2. And then get a
Chanta
chi.
play there on the left.
Yeah, aggressively Chanta.
Aggressively Chanta or Honitsu. Well, now it's just Chanta.
Rewarded.
I was mentioning about how hard closed Chanta was. We might get to see one literally the next game.
Yeah, we need 7 mon, which is...
Oh, no! The Tuso!
Home.
Well, so much for closed Shanta. I think you cut 8-9 here. Yeah, that's going to be the play.
Because you expect to be able to call the West. It's going to be very confusing because you'll have 2 Yakuhai that are not...
Well, I mean, people can look at your pawn and pretty much figure out what's going on.
Yeah. 2
like, I'm never throwing Dora into that.
No. When a terminal or an otter is the Dora, look for the hand that's building Chanta. You probably don't want to deal into them.
Cuts the 1 so there. Doesn't cut the 4 so. I mean, there were Chanta hedges, but wants to keep the Sanshku hedge a little bit more. Well, there's the shot. There it goes. And now you're just going to play Dora Tonki.
Ooh.
And because the extra foo, that would be... Ooh. Would be 5,200 there. We have Dora Tonki and Dora Tonki Ishanten. Speaking of Ishanten, what on earth is that for the dealer?
258, 4-7 pin.
That's not one of them, though.
4 mon 7 pin, 5-8 mon.
Home.
That's a K10 play. I don't actually hate that. Could pawn that for Tempai as well.
Yeah, I don't.
Home.
I don't like doing it because.
Home.
I wouldn't have cut the 3. I'd have cut the 6. Oh, well, there's the 8. So much for that. Gets the 1,500 from it. So a lot of lateral movement, but eventually Tanya Nomi shuts down the 2 Dora Tonki hands.
They do say Tanya ends it all.
And it certainly did there. Dealer potential Tanya here if you get that 6 so, but also potentially Itsu, also floating the Dora with the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 pin. On the right, Pinfu type hand there. Pretty good shapes altogether. 2 completed runs. Oh, a knife Dora acceptance too with that 3, 4, 2 pin is Dora. Across the way, it's a Pinfu, but the shapes are awful. How many Penchun? 1 Penchun, 2 Penchun, 3 Penchun. That's about 3 more than a hand that I want. Maybe 4 more, depending on how I'm feeling. On the left, though, that may just be a Junchun. Maybe Itsu as well.
Simon made a really interesting discard on the second cut, declining Ishanten in favor of holding this 2 mon. Now has, the 4 mon for a Sanchoku, but you probably can't use it in this current form. You need to draw another Dora.
Oh, that's a fun draw for dealer. Do you go Sanshoku? Or do you go good shape? Goes good shape instead. So the advantage of Sanshoku is you can still Tempai on 5 or 6 and it's fine. But instead, rewarded.
Richi Dora.
And this is Richi Pinfu Dora 1. The 2 so is actually dead, but there are 3 5 so.
Make that
now
2.
There are 2 5 so. But just with the way the hand is, that might come out. We'll see.
3, 4, 5 Sanchoku. If you draw the 5 mon, you're just reaching with the 2.
Even 7 pin. How do you fold into this? You can fold with a 4 mon. Figure the 3 isn't great, but maybe okay.
No,
I just 5 though. You do have 80 Yonken. It's a concern though with the 8 pin, 3 pin. Off the time that's going to be cut the 8, cut the 3, and then still have the 5, 6 left in the hand, which turns out is what this has, but that shape was filled.
Hand still Ishanten for Vincent. Could be a fight. Has anybody else got something worth fighting?
No. Just no. Oh, well, now I got possibly Peiko, so I'm going to push that 7-pin. I just will not push the 7-pin. It's decided that's the death tile.
Yeah, the tile in the Pinzu is going to deal in. It's going to be the 4-7 most likely. 6-9 doesn't feel so bad. This is Tempai. 5-8 mon. Smash the 7.
Could
7
end up
mon
waiting on
Tanki?
the 7-pin if you're just
Yeet.
convinced it's that bad, but I think he's reaching the 7. And this 5-8, not actually that bad. 3 8s out, 2 5s out. So 3 left against the, what, 2 5 so we said earlier?
That's right.
So it's a 2 versus 3.
Oh, there's the 7-pin.
Oh, and you go, no, why didn't you throw me that earlier? I didn't want to have to worry about this. And there's one of those 5, so it's not to 1 versus 3.
Definitely a choose the right Tanki moment. Oh, Dora as well.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't realized that, but yeah, if you reach it on the 8, that would have been Ipatsu.
Really that scared about the 7, and it would have ended up being the better play in this instance. Alex, holding on to 5
there's
for dear
Sumo,
life.
Ricci, Sumo, Pinfu, Tanyao. Eniora is Mongon, and there's one of them, and that's going to be enough. Vincent jumps out to a pretty big lead here, 43,000 in East 4.
Vincent looking to take over from Claire in this game.
Well, I'm sure you realize what my 2 Yaku opinions are on this hand.
Yeah, but I'm with
Sanshoku or just get Dora. Could be Tanya as well. We'll see how it develops, but lots of options here for the dealer. That very much depends on what you draw. On the right, Pinfu type hand. Not too much value yet. Maybe Peiko and Pin across the way. The 3 actually helps the shape a little bit, but you have so many pairs, you're just kind of looking at it going, ugh, what is this? On the left, though, Pinfu, maybe Itsu, maybe some shifting later. It's a fairly weak hand. Dealer, definitely the hand to watch. Oh, well, there's our Dora pair up.
Yeah, it looks like with the plan of just get Dora.
Is it?
Wow,
Well,
these draws.
oh, wow. And of course, if you draw 7 mon, you're like, maybe I go Sanshoku anyway.
Oh,
well,
like
forget
it.
that. You just hit shiny button.
Ricci, Dora
This is
2.
Ricci, Dora 2, waiting on 4-7. 5 left. 2 4s, 3 7s.
7,000.
And similarly, does anyone have anything? Well, just Ipatsumo.
So do we find Hana?
Easy game. Ricci, Patsusumo, Dora 2. Eniora is Hanuman? Nope. But a Mongon is good enough. There's back-to-back Mongon Sumos for Vincent, over 55,000. And this is how you end up in the second spot in the standings. And after this game, barring a bit of a collapse, will likely be at the top of A1.
Currently would be earning plus 35.3, so that would be enough.
Vincent is dealer here again. Nice little possible Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. Pretty good shapes. On the right, I think it's just Kokushi. And yeah, that seems to be the play. It's just Kokushi because nothing else is happening with that hand. Across the way, Pinfu type hand switching to rather 2-pin, 5 so. Bit too many floaters though. And on the left, 5 6 7 or 6 7 8 Sanjiku both look very good. Lots of value there.
Well, Kokushi is just Dianchan 10, but 3 9-sos just came out. That's so sad.
Dealer, not Ishan 10. They just go Ricci, no. Ricci Dora 1, actually. Ishan 10.
Who knows? Vincent could stay true to his club and discard
Well,
Dora.
there's an upgrade. We're Ishan 10 now on the right. Also, this is the problem with bluffing the Dora suit, is if dealer gets here and jams it, you have to jam the 8 into it. It doesn't matter. Hey, it gets rid of this 8, which could have been a disaster. Yeah. Across the way, that's Tempai.
Wow.
Each.
You just hit the button here. One of those tunes is not coming out, though. Oh, it's going to be a chase. Any cultists?
Each.
Now, you should probably cut the 6 here instead of the 3.
Goes for the 3, though. Cult is confirmed. Waiting on 5-8 mon.
Well, there's one of those 5 draws.
Oh, the Chun!
No! Ricci Chun gets the last one on the wall, the expensive end. Not a huge difference, goes from 13 to 26, but definitely the expensive end there. And Vincent's dealer turn shut down like that, and the Kokushi Shunten also shut down. People are going to look at the log and go, oh, that was a lot scarier than I thought it was.
Yeah, I want to know where that last
Is-
9 so was.
That's something that happens in A1 is you generally just don't respect Kokushu very often. It's like, unless something weird goes on, yeah, no, they never got it. They never have it until they do. But Max's dealer here has a Pinfu type hand. Would really like the 5 Mon, would then have a very wide Ishunten. Still headless, though.
Alex
And
has
on
it.
the right, ooh. Well, there are your 7 pins. That's Ishunten on the right for just Richi, Tanyao, Dora 1. Probably with the Intotsu. Across the way, that's a whole bunch of 4 pin. May just go Tanya cutting the 9 pin. And on the
Each.
left, oh, well, there's our Tempai on the right. On the left, I mean, it's a Pinfu, but it's a long way away, so
Looks like a
we don't have to
fold.
worry about that. 4-7 pin and 2 Mon, the Intotsu here. Guaranteed Tanya with 1 Dora. The 7 is 1 left, and the 4 is dead. So you look at that, oh, the 7's
Sumo.
worthless. But there it is. Reach Sumo, Tanya, Dora 1, Mungon. And that's going to put Alex back over 30K, and Alex needs these points. Definitely going to climb.
Back-to-back wins and in second place now.
And dealer here is Alex, and 4 pairs can accept Dora, decent shapes. On the right, 3 pairs can call the Chun. Maybe even go Chanta with that. Although now you have Dora accept, you don't have to think too hard about it. Across the way, Pinfu hand, but you have Kanchan, kind of awkward ones to use. I guess Penchan, Kanchan, you have every type of weight in that hand, so it's not as bad as it looked initially. On the left, North pair and a floating Dora, so that's just very much a call and go. You'd love to add the 678 Sanjiku in there if you can, but it may take a bit.
Very curious to see how Alex plays his hand with 4 pairs, awkward pairs at that, with a 1 Mon, 2 Mon. Could also just cut the 1 Mon pair and shift to Tanyao. Opts for the...
Well, that 8 Mon is definitely an indication that is not the plan.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4,
And
5.
yeah, and then the 8. Oh, no, it could
no.
backfire.
It still could be a Tanyao shift. You have enough blocks for it. Oh, but now you have Ipeko
That could be any
chance.
Peiko. This should just be 6 Mon. Yeah, there it is. Speaking of Cheetoy, the one on the right's getting a little closer too, although that may just be a Toy Toy. If East comes, do you call it? I probably would. Oh my goodness. What about Suanko? I'd call that.
It's a tough one. If it was the Chun, I think it's a no-brainer.
Home.
Well, yeah, if it's Chun, it's a no-brainer. If it's 2, so it's still probably a no-brainer.
Your cuts are...
Besides, just go ahead and keep the 5 here to accept the Dora later.
Yeah.
It is a much more dangerous tile.
It also, your cuts outside of the early 1 pin do look very pin heavy in your hand.
Yeah, and you see dealer here holding back the Chun. Is quite skeptical of it. And you see the South also being held. That should be a pawn into Dorotanki. Oh, no, that's a mistake. I don't know what Max is doing. That 100% should have been a pawn and cut 9 Mon. I don't know what he's doing. Well, there's our Tempai on the right.
Max wants Sanchoku Dora, I guess.
I mean, I'd rather just have the hand that's Tempai.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there are hands that are Tempai. Across the way for just the Tanyao. And on the right for Toy Toy and possible Sunanko, possible June.
Vincent doesn't like this 5-8.
Oh, just knew he was going to draw it himself, apparently. You're not throwing that.
Oh,
just
rewarded. Yeah, with 4 of the 5-8 Mon being discarded, Vincent dropped intentionally into the Shaba weight over the Manzu Diamond. It was immediately
rewarded for it. Gets the 1 Han, but more importantly, shuts down the rest of those hands. Dealer here is Simon. Has a Pinfu type hand, needs the 6-0 and 8, so to complete that 5-7-7-9. Also a bunch of floaters. Now has a floating Dora 4-pin. On the right, Pinfu, Tanyao, Dora. Pretty standard hand there. Plenty of value. Across the way, I'm not quite sure what you do. You have the overlap needing the 7-pin, 4-pin with the 5-6-6-8. You also have a really ugly Mon shape with 9-9-8-5-2. On the left, 2-3-4 Sanchu definitely feels like the play there. You also have a Dora with that 4-pin. So that's probably the easiest, especially now. to play of the hands here. I guess maybe dealer's also pretty easy, but it depends on how much you're going to hedge things.
Well, now you found your pair, so
Well, now you just have Ishan 10, so you don't have to think too hard about this anymore either.
yeah, it's really just a race between Alex on the left, Simon, our dealer, and Vincent on the right. All of them with very reasonable hands.
And now I see a north pair up on the left. Can call it for a possible pay Sanshogu Dora 1.
That pair kind of awkward for Vincent, so he just says, "This is Tanya."
Ooh, that's an upgrade.
Oh,
The
but
problem is, do you even want it? Because you probably have to cut Dora. I would probably cut 9-pin here.
yeah, that's pretty
More or
reasonable.
less hedge everything. It's not ideal, but it's like, what else are you going to do?
Like, if you don't want to get rid of the door here, you could just go 2-mon, 3-mon, and greed the Ipeco.
Nah, I'm never doing that. That doesn't sound fun.
Oh, well.
Well, this is your bit of a backfire. This is the problem with cutting the 9. But I think your dealer, I wouldn't even care. I'd probably just cut the 8-9 now. Or even, this would be an argument for cutting the 2-3. Yeah, now I think I'd cut the 2-3.
Suggesting that the 3-6-9, even though it's 50-10, is strong enough that even if you do end up
By
with
itself,
a
you'd
50-10
have to,
Ricci,
yeah.
right?
Ooh, this should be a pair lock. I think 6-mon is the efficient cut. 7-mon does give you some options and does allow you to throw the relatively safer 7, so. But doesn't matter because that is not Tempai because you didn't play it efficiently.
Yeah, one of those situations where you want to hold your pairs. In this case, the 7-mon could have acted as the pair. But still very wide. Lots of chances to draw into Tempai here.
2-pin also not taken by Alice. Could have taken the Atuzuke Sanshoku. And there's the 9 you were looking for.
Oh, there's the 7-mon
And this
back,
actually is Tempai on the right now.
it's
Oh
too
no,
late.
but it was thrown
Yeah.
back. Oh, absolute disaster for Vince. And yeah, definitely going to take it now. Waiting on, so cannot actually win on the 5. So although that 5 is lit up, it is not a Yaku.
リーチ
Across the way, that is Tempai, Ricci, Pinfu, 3-6-mon.
Oh, pay.
And Pei, I think, just deals in. Oh no, just gets out of the with the Gambutsu
Sumo.
first. Oh, just Patsumo. Huge win for Max. Max definitely needed that in a pretty deep 4th. Ricci, Patsumo, Pinfu, no Ura. But there's also Konak Simon, and they're going to be in a dogfight. Less than 1,000 points in all last now. And I'll say Max has a much more callable hand with the Haku pair. Rest shapes aren't great. They're not terrible, I guess, but they're not great. Dealer here has, interesting, 111, 6688 Mon, but the rest of the tiles are kind of disconnected mess. On the right, as I mentioned, Haku pair, okay shapes, and there's our pawn. Across the way, Pinfu Taipan, but not even a good one. This is a count the Kanchan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and cuts one of them. It was actually double Ryankan.
Yeah, did manage
And
to
on the
fill one.
left, it's just Tanyao.
It is a little difficult for Max, though. He has to be careful about who he wins 1,000 points from if he doesn't draw a Dora. Even a Tsumo isn't going to be enough here to overtake.
Oh, yeah, no, that isn't 1,000. That's
ポン
1,500. My mistake. And Simon says, well, we'll just go Tanya then ourselves. It's fine.
Like you said, the race is now between Max and Simon. And Vincent's totally fine with somebody winning 1,000
Yeah,
points. and
Vincent
winning
would
this.
love to just sit this out. Preferably if they can knock Alex
Gee.
under 30K. You have to cheat at 4.
Max, you want a force? So here you go. Just has to be careful about who has the Dora.
I don't think that's Tempai. It's not. Oh, well, now it could even just be Toy Toy for Vincent.
Of course,
Could be Toy Toy Onitsu South.
Yeah, who knew dealer was just gonna fight for this? I'm pulling.
Yeah, I'd
5
absolutely
pin.
pull on that. I don't like passing. I push the 5, I'd push the 7. And then the South comes. Instead, you can take Tempai on the 6, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, would have been
Oh,
Tempai.
no, goes for the greed.
Oof.
Realizes maybe I should have done that last turn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get a chance here with this 6-mon though.
Ishunten on the right. That's a cheap for
Gee.
Tempai. I meant you cut the 7 pin.
3-6 pin is the weight. Women also Ishante. Now Tempai.
Tempai across the way would have to jam the Dora. Deal a little scary. And I guess Max oftentimes is waiting Ortanki here, so he isn't going to take it. Oh, dealer Tempai now. I think you just take it.
Yeah, 3-mon.
You have plenty of Fu here, too. It's
Chi.
fine. That's going to be a Chi. Random. Not a cultist, though.
Sansa wait would be a true sign. There are 3-pin available in the wall, 3 of them actually. It's pretty impressive for this late. With all these tie out type hands.
No, 7's not. I mean, you can cheapen the hand if you want to throw it, but why? South is dead. You're never taking that. 7 just came out. We haven't mentioned it, but Ishanten across the way for a bit of a monster if you can draw another Dora.
Yeah, even if the 2-pin or 3-pin will give you Sanshoku. Of course, 2-pin,
Now, 2-pin
not
is
live.
dead, so good luck with that. 3-pin would actually be a really bad draw.
Oh, speaking
of,
Don't.
that's going to be the directed double roan. So Max not out of it yet. The awkward position of dealing a double road not being the worst result necessarily. The problem is that's a much bigger hand than you'd expect from dealer there.
Yeah, 39 stings a little bit. So you're what, 15 back before the double roll, 25, 64.
Still within Mongon range. Oh my goodness, look at dealer. 2 Onko and a pair already.
Oh, this could be something crazy.
This is a scary hand. I'm looking at anything that might be able to compete, and the answer's not really.
Quick scan. I mean,
Max's hand is like an average one. It's not terrible. It's not good. And across the way,
Shaw.
I could call the Shaw and fight this down, but the rest of the shapes aren't quite there yet. They're close, but they're not there yet.
It's just holding the most efficient floaters here.
Yeah,
but...
he's just holding floaters. If he wins the East, whatever. If he pairs something up, it's like whatever there.
So
too.
would you
Oh,
die?
well, now we have an interesting play across the way. Technically, Ryan Shunten looking for a head more than anything else.
Oh,
Oh,
Sanko.
well, now it just guaranteed Son Anko Toy Toy. And I guarantee you that was not the tile he was expecting to draw. You saw the little hesitation there of, crap, what do I do?
I was going to ask if you would diamond cut anything. Now you don't.
Yeah, I just cut the 7 there.
Yeah, certainly take the...
Ishan 10 across the way. I mentioned 3-pin comes out.
And you really would just want to cut this 8-9 pin and draw around the Dora. Ooh, upgrade.
I think you take this. I think you take this. Even the 3, it's like, it's fine.
The one pin should come out before the 3 anyway, right?
Yeah, well, like right now, and you knock someone under 30k.
This is massive. 12k. And all of a sudden...
Vince with a direct hit, and now Max says, well, I guess I have second within range now.
Yeah, Simon's in second after that.
Yeah, Simon's sitting at 21,400 in second. Vince is just rolling now. Has another pin fu type hand. Shapes are okay, no value yet. On the right, pin fu type hand there as well, but a few Kanchan to fill. That 6-mon will help though immensely. Across the way, pin fu hand, I guess. Maybe it's in so 7-mon would really help. And on the left, maybe Itsu in Mon and maybe Peiko in So. You have 1, 1, 3, 4, 4, 5, 8, 9 in Mon and 6, 7, 7, 8 in So.
It's so tense if you're one of these players in second, third, or fourth. Especially that race between third and second. That's a significant difference in Uma.
Well, also it's worth remembering, these are the people you may be fighting with for devotion.
Exactly. I mean, everything is so tight in A1 right now, just looking at the standings, that anyone could be in that devotion zone moving forward, except for maybe, you know, Vincent or Claire. And Jonathan, or rather Joe up ahead.
Yeah, Jonathan's actually on hiatus, so that one doesn't count. Played 1 session, then got a free pass out, largely because of that first session. Ended up going on hiatus because there was an issue with live scheduling.
But here, I mean, you're going to need every little bit that you can get. If Max can pull in a Mongon and pass 2 people at the same time, that would be a massive
huge
win.
for him, yeah.
And Max has a good chance at that here.
He's just 6-pin, 8-pin. You go for the Richinomi. It's fine.
There's 3, 4, 5 Sanchoku available, and I think if you
Oh,
draw...
what's that on the left? Is that... Wait. It's not Tenpai, is it?
No, it's like
That shape hurts my head.
it's like Chitoi wanna be Chitoi.
Ugh.
Now it's just Tanya, but
Well, and maybe not even that. Like, what are you gonna do with this? It looks like you're hedging Rion Peiko more than anything, honestly. I
Punk.
think you pulled that. I think you have to pull that. If
oh,
you've made
big
this
draw.
decision, you just stick with it. Oh, huge draw. Confirmed
Each.
Sanshoku,
Reach-
Pinfu, maybe Tanya waiting on 6-9 pin there
I mean,
for Max on the right.
This Ricci makes it Mongon. He will get second place if he wins this hand. But the 3 comes
Oh,
first.
the 3 deals it on the left.
It was
The
Genbutsu
amazing
to the
Sashi
Ricci.
has no idea how important that was. That was clearly planned, Sachiko.
Yeah, 3 was definitely safe to the Ricci. You don't even care if it's dangerous to Simon. Get out of this game
But
with your
deals
plus.
into Tanya and gets the 53.8. Vincent jumps up into the top spot in A1. Simon off the end there says, okay, bye, Alex. I guess you drop below me. We'll take the -6 here for second. In third, Alex is still just, what the hell did that 1 pin deal into?
I mean,
And Max going, that hand of the end. No, my points.
probably going to take a look back at the log and look at the high pie and say, yes, now I understand how this happened.
Yeah, it was just, that high pie was just a gift.
And the drawing the 2-pin Anko is just, wait, I'm San Anko Tenpai. Okay, let's go.
I mean, sometimes the game just gives it to you.
Yeah, I wonder though, like if the 3-pin comes out there, if you pass Roan.
I wouldn't. I think you. Well, okay, so it's a 1 Han versus 5.
It's 1,500 versus 12,000. I have to pass. It's early enough. Another 3-pin will come
Yeah,
out.
I think you can. That 1 pin looks amazing there.
It helps that
And let's say-
Vincent was already in control in that situation and could afford to do that, to make that play.
Yeah, no, it's a huge benefit, and definitely looking to play for the championship this season. I say a bunch of other games have been going on. Blaine picked up a big first, 38.5 at a B3 match. Aaron second, 10.4. James -8.9. Brett -40. And of course, we just had our game and the other B1 game we talked about earlier. Travis with a 30.3, Christine 11.9, Eric -9.7, Matthias -32.5. So let's see, do we want to switch? I don't think so. I think we may just stay here.
Yeah, both games starting about the same time. I have no preference. That finish was quite exciting though, so I imagine the next game will be equally exciting.
Yeah, as I say, I think we hit that other table yesterday. Now, if that B3-6 table finishes and starts another one in the next couple minutes, we jump to it. But I think we're just going to stay at A1 because that's like 15 minutes in, so unlikely to do so.
Actually, it looks like they only partially caught that other table, so maybe we do want to grab a session from there.
All right, let's head over there then. It's B1-2 with Travis, Eric, Matthias, and Christine.
Of course, we will definitely be paying attention to the results of that A1 match. After a big +54 win from Vincent, I would love to see what the result of the final game of that session is going to be in about 40 minutes.
Simon and Alex both still technically out of Simon, Alex, and Max all now basically tied 20 points, -20.6, -21.7, -23, all just barely out of demotion right now.
It's gonna be a dogfight for the entirety of this season in A1.
All right, well, we'll get set up for this match then. I say this is a B1 match, B1-2.
No, we just need, let's see, who am I missing? Eric, Travis. I think I'm missing Travis in the list.
Travis, Matthias, and Christine.
Do you know which Travis this is? I know there's multiple
It
Travises.
says Travis S.
All right, should be updating now. We see Matthias, the only player positive at this table. The rest of them trying to mount a comeback here.
Yeah, and Matthias is doing pretty well up until I believe the last game because it just reported that. I think that was a pretty big negative. Yeah, minus 32.5 was doing okay, kind of on the border of the promotion zone, but now it just needs to stay positive.
Yeah, B1, a very interesting division. I mean, Christian, way out ahead in first place. I think he's won 2 Yakuman, though. That certainly
He has,
helps.
I think, won 2 the same day. It was something really big.
And in one of those games, he won the Yakuman and also a dealer Baimon.
Well, we are off. This is Travis's dealer here. Just going to throw the 6-mon back. Doesn't like the floaters. Maybe hedging Kokushi with this. I think I'd just cut the north here, but we'll see. On the right, Pinfu, maybe Itsu, given the 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 pin. Other than that, just regular Pinfu shapes across the way. Shaw pair can be called as a floating Dora. Completed shape with the Dora, so may just be a call and go. And on the left, maybe a 6, 7, 8 Sanjiku potentially, but it could just be Richidora 1.
Yeah, Travis immediately filled in the upper so shape and then dropped the 5 so. So it seems to be a clear indication that he's pushing for Chanta or Kokushi, and now he's going to have to make a decision. And it'll be Chanta.
He needs to be brute forcing Chanta. I don't like this at all. I think these lone honors are really bad, especially the ones that are 1 cut.
I think there's a chance you could have held the 5 so and cut one of those honors in the hopes of drawing into Honitsu.
Honitsu, just Itsu. You don't have to think too hard about
Itsu
it.
as well. That's a good point. Lots of options that could be used with the 5 so, but just draw the East pair, and that certainly will
And the
help.
East would have been the last one to come out anyway, so
Well,
you were
exactly.
going to get that.
Shaw could come out soon, and Matthias could call that across the way. Oh,
Oh, well, just pull in the East yourself. That makes it easy.
Pom.
Now, the question is, how much do you hedge the Chanta here?
I mean, Pon here would be a pretty
Boom.
decent hedge. Does drop the Dora, though.
Just cuts the Dora. That's the only concern, though.
You
Is
could,
now if you draw like 4 so, you're really sad.
you could have dropped one of the ones, either one mon.
Yeah, I definitely would have cut one of the 1s.
Because the Dora is worth the same as open Chanta
Oh,
anyway.
well, okay, never mind.
The double tone.
And this
Yeet.
1 mon just feels like it's going to come out. Well, it may not now. I think Matthias is going to
Reach.
throw it, but now there are 2 Richis on board, so have fun with that. And this may come right
No.
out. It does. Reach about to bid food or 1. Wow.
Safe to
And
one
a Mongon,
Ricci.
just like that. Christine, big hit right off dealer.
And was that 6, 7, 8 Sanjiku chance? I missed what the mon shape was, but I think there was the wrong tile for Sanjiku is still a big win.
I mean, when you get a Patsu, you're like, it's fine.
exactly.
It's fine. Dealer here is Eric. It's always nice when they just use the
Yeet.
name there and enough to think about it. And I was going to talk a lot, but instead we just have a Ricci on the right. Ricci, Pecodoro 1 on 7 so. There is
Gee.
1 left in the wall, though. Across the way, looking for a... Cannot get Sanjiku now, so just Shaw, maybe a Dora later.
Pom.
Oh, but this 7 so feels very loose now.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be a disaster for Eric.
I mean, all Eric can see in the pond right now is Sozu, so 7 so seems likely to come out
7
here.
so definitely looks like the safest tile in that hand. Well, that actually may save him because now you may just want to keep that 7
I mean,
for
6
a
so is
couple turns. The problem is you have that
Genbutsu.
8 Dora, and that Dora just comes out eventually. There's no way it doesn't.
Yeah.
The 7 so comes out because you want to accept the Dora.
6 pin is safe.
6 is safe. Interestingly, has a bunch of safe tiles. 6 pin is safe. 5 so is safe twice. East is probably safe as a result. And you're starting to get more safety across the way. So you're kind of wondering, what on earth is Christine pushing with?
If Travis ever decides to fold and drop a 6 so, Eric can call it the Tempai, but
Well,
Wow.
there's the 8. Deals in. Shaw shuts this down quite effectively. Matthias is probably going to, really? Really?
yeah, that would be my reaction too. I mean, well played by Christine to rob that one away. Well played by Eric to not just deal in. I think I would have dealt it a long time ago.
All right, Matthias dealer here. Pinfu, Tanyao, not great shapes, or even Chitoy now with 3 pairs. Not the best hand, but callable, I suppose. On the right, pin fu type hand. You do have that 1-1-5-5, but there are so many tiles to connect to that 5 bond that you don't expect that to be what it remains as at the end. Across the way, pin fu type hand there as well. Definitely needs an 8 mon and then something to connect probably to the 4 mon. Actually, that 1-4-7-7-9 throws the 1 mon right there. And on the left, I mean, what do we do with that? I just want to pawn and go Tanya. I hate everything about that hand.
Yeah, I want to cut the penchant, cut the 9 pins, just see what happens afterwards.
I want to cut the 9 pin first and then the penchant. I don't like the overlapping Ryankon. I mean, it could have even been Cheetoy. I'd have kept that form on.
ち
Matthias says, this is Tanya. Let's just open up here. Grab a
Yeah,
1500.
Matthias says, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to call. Yeah, it gets rid of the overlapping shape and the potential Atsuzuke, so it's reasonable.
Looks like Noah's going to be using the Shador this time around. Westseed even dropped theirs.
Well, there's your one so pair up, and this should be Cheetoy. I'd have thrown the
Pump.
9 pin, and I'd be staring at Cheetoy Ishan and going, I guess?
Another call from Matthias. Ishanten now for that Tanya. Dion Shanten for Christine on the right. Could be Ricci, Pinhu. Even... You draw 4, so that'd be a huge upgrade in value chances. Ipeko and Tanya.
Ooh, 6 is a nice draw there on the left. This could turn into something actually usable.
Yeah, looking for a pair, really. But if you draw the 4 pin, you can just reach you with the 7, so.
Yeah, ideally you pair up the 3 pin or 5 pin, though. Dealer just stuck in perfect Ishanten hell.
Pick the wrong.
And, like, if someone reaches, you know you're just going to die. You're almost like, I may have kept the 9 so as a safe tile, which, as we can tell, wouldn't actually be a safe tile.
Toyman has been afforded some time to progress his hand. Ooh! Cheetoy
It's just
Tenpai.
Cheetoy.
Yeah, Sanzo?
1
You're gonna Sanzo, let's go.
Sanzo!
The weight, though, is being held.
It's completely dead, so...
There's no Suji or anything to suggest that it would be safe. Eric with a weird hand
It
here.
is safe against dealer, but, like, so... Oh,
All of
yuck!
these...
And this is the situation you get into if you don't have a safe talk. You didn't suck Igiri. It's you're like, I think we just push something random.
What would the
Says the
Nakasuji
4
6?
months kind of dying, so I'll push the 5-6.
5-8 Suji's bad, though. We'll just throw it out anyway.
Doesn't matter. If you've made the decision, you've made the decision. Just have to stick with it. And hey, the 8 clears. Eric's like, thanks.
Eric saddled with his East. Is that Shompai? I don't see any discarded.
I don't see any either. Wow, that's pretty hilarious. And you think that's what dealer has to be on then?
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense here.
Maybe even with the even maybe with the West pair.
Yeah, because after
Is Tezuka for
second-
Mongon.
Third West came out, so we're actually safe there.
Oh wait, okay, 1, 2. I can count to 3. I still only see, oh, there's the 3rd. Okay.
And there's the 4th.
Well, so much for that plan.
Looks like we are headed to Ryukyoku.
Travis is like, well, okay. And, you know, Sunso, it's right there. It's just 3.
That Sanzo
Gets
that
the 3 Ricci stick, 3,000 sticks for Tempai payments, and okay, whatever. So Cultist not going to win, but will definitely take their result there.
just growing in power.
And we are in East 4, pin fu type hand. Need to fill that 7 pin pretty badly. Rest of this hand doesn't have any value. Also have a 3 so you're going to need to fill for a penchant. On the right, well, that's the fun hand. Wait, is that Tempai? That's
not
already
qu-
Tempai.
Not quite. There's a 6 Anko.
Oh, no, you're right.
And this is a
Yeah, I
Chinitsu
thought that was
commit.
4-4-5-5-6-6. It's 4-4-5-6-6-6.
Could have tried for...
Suanko.
Yeah. But this
Now,
is
I
still
probably
looking...
would have cut 1 mon from that. Like, I don't actually hate that the more I look at it.
This is still looking quite dangerous. Technically Chitoi Shanta now, but really you're just going to make Chinitsu.
I mean, now you just wouldn't even take the Tempai.
Pon.
Pwn, 100%
Pwn.
Pwn. Pwn got one. One pin, of course.
Oh, this is really exciting for Travis. Could we see Chinitsu Toy Toy?
So this is technically Ishan 10.
Pon.
Well, now you Pwn.
Pon.
It's like, yeah, the shapes suck, but so. Like, what the hell else are you gonna do?
I cannot wait to see 4-mon come out and pull it into 1-mon Tonki. I mean, 5-mon's actually not that bad
You
here.
could chi this for two-sided. Oh, you chi this because it's Tanyao.
Yeah, for Hanemon. Gee.
Chi.
Yeah, it's not really what you think of, but yeah, this is Hanemon, Shinitsu Tanyao. Not really what you're
Yeet.
used to.
Oh, but we're
There's
seeing
going to be
Ricci.
Ricci on the left. This is Ricci Nomi, and we can tell what the expensive side is.
Ooh. This 4-5 is better
It doesn't
anyway.
matter. You just push.
There's no
Who
2s
cares?
left, so you just drop the 3.
Yeah, you just throw the 3 back.
The question was, do you wait 2-5 or do you wait 4-5? And I think 4-5's
Nah,
obviously
4-5's
better.
way better.
There's the 5!
Don.
4-5 definitely better, by the way.
They both would have ended up winning, but Tanyao Chinitsu, 12,000. Maybe he was
And
expecting the
Matthias
Tanyao.
goes, really? Are you kidding me again?
Yeah.
Something that silly happens? Okay, I guess I'm cursed on Ricci's.
Just
But
good.
Travis on the back of that, sitting at 38,300. And within striking range of first, Pinfu Taipan, no real value yet. Can't accept Dora, though. But we see 2 of those on the right. Looking for an excuse, probably go Tanyao with these shapes. This 3-3-6-6 where 3-mon is Dora, not great. All that 5-mon's going to help immensely. Across the way, I don't know. What do we do with that hand?
Yeah, I don't know. South Pole, just go for...
That's probably what I'd have done. You figure you're probably going to need the 3-mon anyway. And on the left, I feel that's probably just Junshan. Unless you specifically draw, like, 4-mon. No, not even really considering it. Hedging it a bit more towards Sanshuku and Itsu. Keeps both, but I think it's just weaker altogether. And then doesn't take it and backfires.
Toyman technically Ishanten here. If you draw the 7, so you'd have a good weight Ricci. This is a less ideal Ricci. You could cut the 8, so
Each.
we'll just take the Tenpai though.
No, there's a Ricci across the way. It is Ricci Nomi just on 7, so there are 2 left.
Yeah,
And there's the 7. I can just throw the 1. Like, what else are you going to do here?
if I'm Eric here, I'm starting to get really frustrated. The way the game has gone is, first...
Well, you just chase this down. There's only 1 9-so left, so we'll Dama.
Oh, there's no
Expecting it'll come out
pair.
right here.
There's no
Oh, wait, that's
pair.
not Tenpai, is it? Oh, no, my mistake. Well, now the hand's crap.
Oh,
Oh,
no-
jeez.
Yikes.
And now you're headless. Ugh.
Did you just throw it back?
No, I think you may even cut.
9-8.
I think, yeah, that's reasonable. The problem is you're going to deal in on this 7.
Oh,
Oh, no, never mind. Dealer's going to deal on that 7.
no
Ricci,
deal
no
wrong.
Aura. So it's 1,300. You're like, whatever. And meanwhile, Matthias says, sure, this is the one I win. Thanks, guys.
That's so much more value in the other Ricci's too. Back to Eric's dealership though.
Pinfu Taipan, maybe a Junchan with some shifting here, or Chanta given the West Dora on the right. It's just Pinfu. The shapes aren't great though. Need 7-so and probably 3-pin and 4-mon. Across the way, it's Pinfu, but not a good one. You also have a floating Shaw Dora, which is your Yakuhai, but you're going to need a bunch of them, and that doesn't look likely. On the left, it's Pinfu, but again, the shapes just aren't good. I think I said that on every hand except the dealer, where I was like, that's even more hopeless. It's Junchan.
Yeah, I mean you're still hoping against hope you draw 3-pin, draw a Shaw.
It's another hand where all the hands are crap. I guess Christine's is the least crap, but they're all bad. Well, now I have 2 Dora on the right. The problem is you want to be able to call for Dodge, and you can't.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to do this closed. Unless there's a Anshoku, which I'm not really seeing. Could be 3 for 5. It just seems unlikely here. And Eric might not even be able to use this Dora.
No, I think Eric may even pull in 1-mon, cut 3-3, and wait Dora Tonki.
That would do it. Those have to be presented with opportunity. So far, one mod not yet seen.
Well, you could chi this and do the same thing. Nope, not going to. And throws the 4 right back out. That's clearly I've made a decision.
Right, yeah. Definitely feels like a Dora Tunky plan. All the door being held right now. So if you start opening up for this,
Could get in a lot of trouble here. Which is always the problem with Doratonki. It's worth a ton when you win, but people have to be willing to throw it. And oftentimes they're not, and it's not in the wall, in which case you just die.
one gets cut. I don't know if hesitation was read there.
6-0 doesn't really help this hand, I don't think.
Christine agrees.
Like, if you cheat, you almost feel like you cheat the 4-5 and cut the 2. Just wait with the 5-7-7 cheat.
Yeet.
That's awful. There's our tempai. This is 3-sided. Ricci Pin Foodora 2. Ooh, made something out of this.
Yeah, some great draws.
Yeah, when you look at those Tadashi, it's just there's what 7 upgrades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 upgrades to get there.
Eric can go with a 3-mon here.
I'd probably go 1, 2.
2 pins twice, or 2 mons twice.
Oh,
cut.
I
It's a
guess the
little
2 months
tricky.
3 cut. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I missed the last one. I missed the one across from Christine.
Yeah, if there's 2 left, that seems kind of reasonable. Chi, Tempai, that will never come
Sumo.
out. Instead, Sumo.
Well, he says, Matthias says, thanks. At least that would help. Need Sumo Pin Food or 2, no Aura, but that will switch, and I believe put him in. No, just 1,000 short. Still in 4th, but it's South 3. Matthias, though, in a much better position now. Has a Pinfu hand. Floaters are kind of all over the place. We have 2-5-8. It's not great in pin. On the right, similarly mediocre Pinfu shapes. Across, mediocre Pinfu shapes with some overlap in a Dora. And on the left, a South pair, and not much else. So my general view of this hand is the hands all suck. It's most likely the hand on the left that gets pawned. He just gets the 1,000 to be done with the dumb hand.
Yeah.
Dealer with some good draws could get back into this.
Pump.
Ooh, 3 pin's a huge draw. And yeah, there's our pawn of the south.
Even 3-mon moves you to Tanya route potentially.
Yeah. Well, you'd have so many pairs is the only problem with this. You're going to need the 8 pin or the 5 pin. And getting either of those would be difficult. Unless it comes out like right now.
Yeah, especially with the 6 pin being the indicator.
Now that's a good draw.
How
It
do
also turns it into 4 pairs for Matthias. Oh, that's a really good draw. Fills in the overlap there. The problem is the shapes are still awful because you have 2 penchant and the floating 5 pin.
Looks like one of those is gonna come out. Thinking about whether 1-2-3 Sanchoku is there and says no. These other shapes are way too good to try to force a Sanchoku.
I might have just thrown the 5 pin anyway.
Yeah, 5 pins the.
Well, there's our
closest
tempai
edge.
on the left. Waiting on 3 pin. There is 1 discarded and 1 in Matthias's hand, which isn't going to come out.
Ooh.
Oh,
and that
speaking of
one's
3 pin, there's your tempai. I mean, just no,
Oh.
you should smack.
To
Oh wait, again, not not there. I keep expecting that to be tempai, but it's a 2-2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mon.
Yeah, the tiles on the far end show up really tiny for us.
Well, now you have 2 Dora, so I think he's got the 8 pin.
Matthias says, I'm not dropping any of these upper pin tiles. If I have to wait on it.
Which
that's-
is very reasonable. And
Yeet.
there's your tempai. Ricci Pinfu Dora 2.
Oh,
Sanzo?
we have a safe tile.
I mean, if you throw it there, you do kind of deserve to die. You may be in a position later where you're just forced to, but
He's-
not yet.
Discards for Matthias. Shaw, Pei, Ton, 3-mon.
Yeah, as a Cheetoy. Was always Cheetoy. It's just 5
Oh,
pin.
yeah, 3-sided. Now there's a very real chance that you chase
Now
and deal
that
in.
3 so likely comes out if you get it.
Eric folded on the 7, so back into Tempai though. Do you take the Genbutsu 5 pin weight?
It is 2 out at this point.
Maybe you think Matthias was cutting from a pair? No. Well, that's an even wider Ishant
Five's not
then.
doesn't want it. I think that's reasonable. Well, now the 3's looking much better. Might even see it come out on the right, but I think that's still just a fold.
4 so passes. If Eric follows now, 9 so still safe. Matthias very diligently dodging this 3 so deal in.
And this would just be for K10 payments, but you really need them.
Backs away.
It's the right play. And yeah, then you see it. Well, it wasn't going to happen. Okay. And then you go, oh, crap.
I made the right choice. Ricci Picador 2 would have been 8,000 points minimum.
And more importantly, foiled the plans of some cultists.
Still in 4th place,
Always
though.
your top priority.
Needs something to happen here in South 4.
Yes, we have a tie for first, actually, at 37,000. Of course, any sort of sumo would cause the recovery to drop Christine to second. A dealer here has a Tanya type hand, particularly Atsuzuki needing the 4-pin door indicator on the right. It's a Pinfu hand, but it's an ugly one. You need a whole bunch of fill-ins there, but I guess you have a Haku pair, so you can just call and be done with it.
Toying with Tanyao shapes, wants to incorporate the Dora and take a Ricci. Oh, there's a Dora!
Yeah, there's a Dora. That is a pretty nice hand altogether.
Yeah, great shapes. I mean, how about second Dora?
Pump.
Look at the 2-pin instead, but that's okay. Ishanten now.
Technically Ishanten, but I mean, you don't need anything more.
Ricci, Tanyao, Dora, Tsumo, Mangan, 30k.
Well, you just cut 3 mon here. Yep, there it goes. Well, that's a nice little upgrade. You cut 2 mon.
Tepai.
Still technically
Peach.
Ishanten. Oh, that is Tempai. That is easy, Ricci. Pros the 2 5's kind of bad.
1, 2, 3,
3
4.
5's out, 2 2's. Apion's bad. Just get shoved. 1 mon Suji. You just throw that anyway.
Travis can't afford to deal into this if there's an Uda. Of course, you don't want to lose your first place tie.
Well, that doesn't help at all. You can't call that 6. Well, there's a Dora. Shiny. Yep, 7 so's normal there. That is not drawing anything. You're very surprised you're pushing like this and it's not budging. Why isn't it budging?
Maybe having
No,
Penchon.
Tuso, that
Ooh.
feels like a bit of a surrender here. Didn't want to throw Hatsu, which was 100% safe. I don't understand that one. And punish, because this should be Tempai on 3, so. Probably didn't want to throw the 3-pin into this, but I think I would.
7 was the Tempai on the right, and Travis does not believe Eric has anything worth that much in the hand. Wants the first place badly here. 2-7 on the wall versus 3-2-5. 2-5 on just hasn't been drawn yet.
Man, just hard folding from Christine. Gonna drop to second place now, unless there's a deal in.
Lead 9 draws and 5 deal in tiles. There's a 2-mon.
There's
finally.
one of those 2s, and there's the 7.
7.
Travis gets the first place with the extra sticks there. He'll jump out over 40K.
And with the Ricci.
And because of that Ricci, that's going to kick a tie for third place, but Travis at 25.4, Christine 11.4. Those scores are not correct. They're actually both minus 18.4. That's just due to the way Tenho does it. In our side, we will get those up to date correctly, but those are both minus 18.4 and minus 18.4.
Yeah, we'll see that reflected here. Matthias will be at an even standing here at negative 12 once this finishes updating. Now, what an interesting finish. Christine folding ended up drawing the deal in tile 2-mon and didn't pass it out there. The others were just buried. It was a 2 versus 2 by the end, and Travis found the Zumo.
I mean, Travis needed this, and Travis, that's two back-to-back games, and now right on the cusp of getting out of the demotion zone, which is in the absolute abyss, and now climbing back at the same time. Matthias kind of tanking now. Was looking for a promotion spawn, and is now going to be in that pack with Kaz and Pio and Galhan.
Yeah, will be very exciting to see how the rest of B1 plays out. And, well, this game finished a little bit ahead of schedule. So I don't think we've got a game starting anytime soon. Just checking the comms chat. So perhaps what we'll do is take a quick break, set up for the next game, or even drop into a game that's already in progress. Maybe do a little bit of commentator shuffling. And when we come back, we will be back with more Mahjong action. Don't go anywhere.
All right. Well, welcome back. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be the end of the stream. We had two table cancellations. One was due to a schedule issue, and the other was someone had a real life issue come up. So I think we're going to hang it up here. Any closing thoughts, Nathaniel?
Well, it was certainly some wild finishes. The South 3, South 4 situations that we saw today were quite exciting. And some players really running up the score. Of course, we saw in that A1 match, Vincent doing a great job taking away the first place overall spot in A1. So it's going to be exciting to see how the rest of the session works out. I know a lot of A1 tables are playing tomorrow and Friday as well. So we'll get some more clarity in the standing situation there. And it was
Now, I
also
say that also gave it back on the game we didn't cast because we were on that one. Simon got first, 38.1. Alex second, 10.6. Max at minus 18.9. Vince at minus 29.8. So more shuffling going on in A1 and across all the different divisions. But I think that's about all for tonight. As I say, we got a bunch of cancellations late on us. We were expecting to go later, but that's fine. Flexibility is one of the big advantages of ARML. We know that the game is always here for you. So when something comes up, the league is flexible enough to allow you to handle it. So with that, this is Korak along with Nathaniel for the America Reach Mahjong League. Signing off, of course, other than remember a few tournaments coming up. I believe Chicago's coming up, PML's coming up. And of course, IRMC, the first qualifier, is not required that you go to the first one. There are 4 total. You must play 3. But that is closing. The registration for that session specifically is tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern. So 11:59 Pacific. So if you want to get in for that, go ahead and sign up on that. That's on AmericanReachy.org/IRMC. And this is obligatory. Check our socials, follow us, etc. Blah, blah, blah. You've heard the spiel before. And so that's it. Have a good night, everyone.
yeah, thanks for tuning in.